button.
All right, as long as we keep our chat, we'll be good.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. It looks like we're on the stream output.
All right.
And it is there. Yeah.
Oh, yep. It looks like we're on the stream. All right, so we're live. This is the second. I don't even know what we were calling it. The 4-tuber round table. Basically, we have a YouTube. We have a Facebook page that a bunch of Jeep and off-road enthusiasts joined. We're all YouTubers, and we kind of shoot each other's ideas back and forth and post videos and share them. So this is kind of, we're just hanging out, having a good time, and talking about random topics. So why don't we start with everyone introducing themselves? So I don't know who wants to start, but if we start maybe with Doug, because he's in the top left corner here.
What's up, Buck? I am Doug from D&E in the Garage.
So I'll go. I'm Mark from FMGP.
And if you guys are watching this on my channel, like you should be, I'm the Bearded Jeeper, Kyle. So
Steve.
Next, Jeremy, page 8-lug.
Go 8-lug.
8-lug page.
Joe.
Yeah, I'm Joe with Running Joe Off Road.
All right, and my name's Steve. I'm from Wyoming, and my channel's Jack the Jeep.
nice. All right, so we can basically talk about anything we want on here. So I was kind of thinking a topic I brought up earlier on my Instagram page was gloves versus no gloves. Some people like wearing mechanics gloves when they're working on vehicles. Some people wear those like nitrile dipped gloves, and then some people just go bare hands. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Gloves. Nitro gloves.
I'm indifferent. It depends on the task, I guess, but I'm mainly gloveless.
I'm pretty adamant about no gloves. I've had never had good luck with them. I rip them within 2 seconds, then my sweaty hands are just getting all dirty inside the gloves, and I have a bag of dirt on my hands. That's just me.
Then you touch your face and it's black.
Yeah, plus I like it. You know, you go to work the next day and they're like, what were you doing? I was working on my Jeep.
Yeah, exactly.
Your face is going to get black regardless. No, I start with
I'm having
gloves,
some
and
problems.
then
I don't know if
I'm like
anyone can
Kyle.
hear me.
I'll
This
start
is
with them,
fun
but then
for
they're
live.
gone.
Yeah, I'll usually start with them, especially if it's like freezing cold out, and then I'll take them off halfway through the project because I can't feel a nut or a bolt or don't have enough finger room to move it in there. So
See, I'm kind of the opposite. I like the nitro gloves. The thicker ones seem to last a little longer. I do rip them from time to time, but unless I'm doing some heavy duty suspension work, like I'll wear the mechanics gloves. But outside of that, like engine work, intake manifolds, things like that, it's nitro gloves. I'm fine.
I broke my thumb playing hockey years ago, so if I'm wearing nitro gloves, I need a 2 to 3XL on the right and like an XL on the left, and
That makes
don't
it
sell a
interesting.
box with intermixed sizes.
That's an awesomely Canadian thing.
I know. It's the most Canadian thing I could say. I
Tape it
broke
up
my
like
hand
out there.
playing hockey.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
can everyone see the chat down there?
Yeah, I have the chat.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think I lost
I got
Steve
it.
and Jeremy's audio, so I don't know. I don't want to talk over them, but I can't hear if they're talking. Technical difficulties.
Jeremy's
Yeah, this,
super
I have the chat, but I can't do anything with
Froze just real big at the camera.
technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Hey, it's only our second one, right?
Yeah, it's only our second one, so we're still kind of messing around with this. For another topic,
Nate
how about we
the
talk
weird-
about project vehicles? What's everyone got going on for a project they're working on right now?
Well, I might have broken
Right
another.
now, I'm going to be starting. Go ahead.
Might have. Kind of, sort of.
I can turn the front pinion almost a full half turn again, so I likely chewed another pinion tooth again. It happens. And then so I've actually picked up Toyota's 9.5 front axle, and I'm gonna make a hybrid axle for my Land Cruiser, so that way I can hopefully hold power. If not, I'm gonna have to really reconsider how much power I put through that LS. So
Oh, the Land Cruiser's got the LS.
yeah,
Crazy. So that's why you're breaking pinions.
yeah. I started with 529 on a high pinion, which is already a tiny pinion to begin with, and I spun it in the first like 500 kilometers. And now it looks like my 411s, which is almost double the size, is also done the same thing.
Too much power.
Wow. I guess so. So that's tires you're running.
Look, you'll be fine.
37s.
Oh well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it'll happen.
If you're asking about project vehicles,
for
I still
some
have that
reason,
dilapidated Chevy Avalanche on my driveway that I tried to put away for the winter, but my viewers are getting angry, so I think I'm gonna have to be rolling around underneath that awful thing again very soon.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was going to make a comeback.
Sorry.
Midwest.
Yeah, man, that thing is rusty, man.
So, Mark, what's in the koozie?
What's in the koozie? I got a Yingling. Why? What are you drinking, Steve? Oh, Steve can't hear me, can he?
Lost his mic, folks. I can hear you. You guys cut out a lot, but I got you a little bit.
D&E
you
lost
drinking,
everybody
Steve?
again.
I can hear your first two words, and all of a sudden you guys sound like a bunch of robots, and it's really
Yeah, this
mechanical.
not working for me. My mic's not working.
Maybe we are robots.
To the YouTube algorithm.
YouTube
Yeah.
doesn't want to promote this content, apparently.
Midwest Jeeper wants to know where babies come from. I suggest you reading a magazine or something. Watch Netflix at night.
National Geographic.
Netflix and chill.
How about a budget build, guys? Budget builds.
We have a question here that says, if you could do a low budget build, what would you start with?
I think
I
hands
say
down a
functionality
Cherokee.
over looks. I think that it's important to have
Cherokee,
a
yeah.
more functional Jeep, be able to,
Yeah,
Low budget? Third gen 4Runner. Come on.
You're the minority, man.
Yeah,
Toyota
but
guy.
I can just keep blasting on it, and it just keeps going and going.
Oh, yeah, that's
the
true.
only reason I say Cherokees is because you can get those things dirt cheap, and there's such a huge aftermarket support for them. And I've seen just people beat the crap out of them and then completely rebuild them. You get yourself a good set of axles and maybe some good bumpers, and you can just swap them from Jeep to Jeep, basically. Oh, Doug's back.
It's a,
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. I
the
lost
XJ
everyone.
is a good. Oh, the XJ is a good wheelbase. It's like you said, Kyle, very plentiful. There's millions of them out there, and it shares parts with the TJ and the ZJ, so you can pick and pull and choose what you need.
Yeah, so Doug, we're talking about budget builds. We're trying to answer some questions as they come in, and people were asking. I guess it was Life with the Fosters was asking if you had a low budget build, what would you start with?
Well, the XJ is the
Was asking if you had a low budget build, what would you start with? Wow, somebody's audio you can hear in the background.
Somebody
That was
watching on
mine.
TV.
Sorry. I was seeing if I could hear it better. No, we have about a 7-second delay. So I wanted to see if I could hear you guys better through that than through this, but that's all right. We're good.
I feel like XJ is always the traditional answer to that budget build question. And I know I'm a little biased, but I honestly think the answer is becoming WJ, at least in my area. XJs are getting more and more rare. Personally, I don't want to see too many more of them destroyed. WJs and maybe ZJs
Casey
to some
250
extent.
stepped in, say hi before he's leaving for work. Thank you, Casey.
So you guys talk about XJs and ZJs and WJs, and it's funny because like they're gold up here.
Yeah.
Like if I was gonna pick up an XJ right now, like even rusted out, I'm paying like $2,500 with nothing
Really?
to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I
then
could probably.
$500.
Yeah,
I can go pick up a 3rd gen 4Runner that's moderately rusted for anywhere between $500 to $1,000.
No kidding.
That's why, yeah. And it's kind of
Tacomas
funny
and-
to see the market that way.
Yeah, the Toyotas down here are gold. You just can't find them. You don't even see them in the junkyards.
I don't
Yeah,
know. My favorite Jeep, I like the Unlimited, the Wrangler. So that's my favorite. So if I were to do anything again, it would be probably an older model, but just rebuild that.
You know, it's not going to be too long before like the 07 JKs are going to.
I don't know if a lot of you
kinda
guys
cheap.
know, but I actually had to rebuild my Jeep, my current Jeep I have now. I had it for about a year, and it got totaled out from a hail damage. So I ended up having to completely rebuild it from scratch as it was. I stripped it all and rebuilt it. So I've already done it once. I don't want to do it again, though.
And actually, now you say it, I'm curious. I'm gonna check my market right now locally. What a Jeep JK is selling for?
You guys have
Yeah.
Kijiji up there, right?
Yeah, Kijiji.
Where we would have
Unless
Craigslist, yeah.
Yeah, unless you're on the West Coast, then you're like if you're in Vancouver, you're on Craigslist.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh, yeah, categories.
I guarantee within 10 miles of my house, I could probably find a $500 WJ. Now, the only bummer about WJs is they have unique suspension parts. So like you mentioned with the TJ, ZJ, and XJ all shared the same ones. So you can find really inexpensive stuff, you know?
But it also comes with crossover steering right from the start. You put a lift on it.
But
It's true.
V8,
Put Dana right in front.
I don't know if it's me or
No, I hear his mic's
Yeah.
kind of. You're sounding
Sorry.
like the robots are taking over. Yeah.
the machines. There's ghosts in the machines. I think you were asking about a Dana 30 on the WJ, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it does have a Dana 30. Another nice thing about the WJ is they came with factory limited slips, and they're actually very common to find. So if you're building something you only want to put 31s, 32s on, you can get Verilocks, and now you've got a really inexpensive, very capable Jeep. That's what I did. My off-road rig just has Verilock limited slips in it.
So any other projects anyone working on their Jeeps or anything currently?
Well, and another thing on the WJs is if you guys saw my Lost to Legacy episode, we took that basically. I mean that Jeep had like a 4-inch lift, but it was beat to hell, and we just took that on some pretty gnarly trails, and it handled them fine for having those bald tires and everything. So,
Dude, I loved that video.
they're
That was
definitely
awesome.
awesome
Yeah.
Jeeps.
I want to be part of a Lost to Legacy one day. I'll
Oh.
find some down here. I'll drive it up to where you are. We'll beat the heck out of a Jersey WJ.
Yeah, I wanted to do an episode 2, but I just don't have the budget for it right now because it's
That's
gonna.
the problem, right?
Yeah, you got to pay at least a couple $100 to get a vehicle and get it at least 20-day plates or something, so you can drive it around.
Not to mention what else comes with a $200 vehicle.
Yeah. You got to at least replace a TPS sensor or something. It's, you're not just gonna get away
there's something that
scot-free.
comes up.
Well, the
I
WJ
got
that
it,
we had for that, it had such horrible, like everything was welded, like the nuts on the track bar were welded, like these horrible boogery welds, just like holding the bolt in place or something. And there was just welds everywhere unnecessarily. It was unreal.
Just weld it, right?
Yeah.
Some people shouldn't be allowed to have a welder. There
Life
should be
with
an
the
intelligence
Faulkners
test.
asked about wheeling with a daily. Mine's a daily. I wheel with it all the time. I took it last summer, 14 different states, 5,000 miles, and wheeled with it. I have no problems with it.
Now I got to ask, do you have a backup in case you break the daily you're wheeling in?
I don't personally.
Road trips from Midwest Jeeper. I'm going to Rockfest in South Dakota, so I'm planning on a road trip up there. Then I'm going to probably make a loop to Nevada, Moab, then come back through and hit a Jeep Jamboree, I believe in Colorado, in Telluride.
Sounds pretty awesome.
So wheeling a daily, I actually used to have a 2011 Toyota Tacoma, and then that's what got me into wheeling. IFS, I'd put 37s on it, and I dailied that for would have been about 75,000 kilometers till I was trying to get a little too creative and put it up in fire with a welder.
You lit her up. You burnt her down.
And then and so that was the end. The wife won't let me wheel a daily anymore. I did take my Tundra, my old Tundra I had to Moab, but I was like super gentle with it. So
Did you have to drive it back from Moab too?
yeah, I always drove to and back. I one time I was actually in
lost
Indy.
everybody
I was
again.
one time I was at the Indy 500 and I had my buddy drive it to Moab for me, and or to Salt Lake City. So I flew to Salt Lake and he picked me up and drove to Moab and then drove back home after visiting the Grand Canyon. So there is something to say though about wheeling a daily. It almost feels a little more true. Like I don't know, it's just more true to the sport in some ways.
I know, as far as a daily with mine, I beat the crap out of it. I mean, I snapped my front axle in half, and it's my only vehicle. Like we have my wife's vehicle, but she needs it to get to work
Deep Talk
also.
Show.
So it's definitely I don't know, some of the wheeling that I do.
So did we lose Kyle then?
It's like I don't want to, but then I want to as well. So I got to get a tow rig or something, because I'm driving my Jeep all the way to Pennsylvania to go to Roush and Bantam and everything. Yeah, Roush is like 6 hours from me, and then Bantam's 10 hours. So
and it's I've seen people break hard on Roush, and I'm sitting there going like,
hey, we're not prejudiced there. Jeep Talk Show. We let everybody on this show.
yeah, Canadian here, local Canadian about
Oh yeah, don't you know?
That's the Newfie side,
Hey, you guys play hockey. I'm good with that, man.
Yeah, we're usually pretty good at hockey.
Got to get a little love for everybody.
I trailered hours to Roush and broke my drive shaft in the first 20 minutes.
Oh no.
Any other questions out there for us?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you try to go at least two-wheel drive?
But I finished out the day. We lost 3 hours of wheeling, but I was able to the day.
What's that, Mark? I didn't get that.
Oh, I was talking to Jeremy. I was asking him if he went two-wheel drive because he drove all the way to Roush. Might as well try.
Just hold on, I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Front drive shaft.
So we also had a question
after a couple
from,
hours. But yeah, I tried.
Nice.
We also had a question from Devin. He asked, "What are your opinions on a '98 ZJ with a 4.0?"
Anything 4.0, I think you're good to go.
4.0 is solid.
Yeah, it's pretty bulletproof when you're talking about Jeep engines. I know a lot of them have had issues, especially like the modern JK engines. I know there was issues with them catching fire and stuff. So the 4.0, you can run it on no oil and he'll still be fine. So
that and the XJ market's pretty strong. I mean, it's probably, I would say, a pretty strong second behind the the ZJ market is right behind the XJ market in terms of what's available. I might be speaking out of turn, but
no, my
available for an XJ is available for a ZJ.
Yeah, my second Jeep was a 96 ZJ, and when I was first starting wheeling, there wasn't a whole lot of aftermarket support. Like Iron Rock Off Road is probably one of the only companies that actually had products for them. And now, like, you can get them through a whole bunch of different vendors, so it's not just Iron Rock Off Road anymore. Although Iron Rock Off Road has been doing it for a while, so they have quite a bit of ZJ products.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like Iron Rock. I'm running their long arm in the front of my Jeep, and I want to say I think they even offer a rear long arm kit, which would be awesome.
Yeah, they do both front and rear. I had the front ready to go for my ZJ when I had it, but I never ended up installing it before I got rid of it, and then I just sold it with the Jeep, so it was brand new, and somebody got a hell of a deal.
So So which one do you think would wheel better, your Wrangler or the ZJ?
It's tough. My little Wrangler actually surprises me for the amount of wheeling I do. Like when I wheeled up at Jericho back a few months back, like that was some gnarly trails up there, and every other rig that I was with got towed there. I was the only daily driver that went there, and I hit all the trails and drove home. It was like a 2-hour drive there, 2-hour drive back, and that Jeep still surprises me. And all I have is it's pretty much stock suspension besides a small what was 2.5-inch lift, now I'm 3.5, and a rear locker. But other than that, for the most part, it's still a stock Jeep.
That's pretty Iron Man, though. You
Yeah.
drive to the event, beat the ever living crap out of it, and then drive it home. That's pretty Iron Man. I love it.
Exactly.
That's what gets me is you watch all these people pulling their pulling trailers with their Jeeps on it, and it just, I don't know. I'm always worried about that, but I'm thinking about going to beadlocks, but I also know that a lot of states condone it, and some states, so I'm worried about getting beadlocks and getting pulled over if I'm pulling my Jeep, flat towing it behind my motorhome.
I've never run into issues with beadlocks like anywhere. Everybody talks, but I run trail ready forged race line beadlocks, and I think I've had one cop when I was pulled over look at them and go, "Hey, those are beadlocks," but he didn't do anything about it. And I've heard the same thing, like people talk and they get scared, right? But I think actually my biggest fear of beadlocks is I will run super low pressure, and a lot of the time, especially now that I trailer, if I had to actually like drive on the road, I'm usually at like 5 psi.
Yeah, Jeep Talk Show made a good
So I've
point
gone
here.
down as low as
Cops have
15.
to know something about the wheels.
Yeah, I've like I said, I've run into one cop that knew what beadlocks were.
We had a question from
So
Major
the kind of
Weakness.
jump off
The
topic.
question was, if
the
you had the
locker.
choice of one locker, would it be front or rear?
Ooh.
I'm still open, but I'm going to be running front probably by the end of the winter. I have it. I just have to install it.
I would personally say rear locker. That's what I have. I guess it depends on what kind of front locker, because if you're going with like an ARB air locker or like an aux locker or something, you can turn it off easy enough and still retain your steering. But if you go with like an Aussie lunchbox locker, it gets tough to turn when you're in 4-wheel drive. So it all depends on what your budget allows, I think, partially. But I for someone new, I would say a rear locker, like an Aussie locker, would be the best to go with.
Probably be the safest because there's
So
less
I have a
components.
frontable ARB
Yeah.
If I had to choose,
and
I
then a
heard somewhere
lunchbox
that
rear.
when you get new beadlocks on, you also have to go in after like 200 miles or something like that and retighten them all on there.
yeah, it's like 13 foot-pounds. It's really nothing.
You should.
Yeah.
I literally go around with my Milwaukee M12 and just go around in a full circle on low torque setting, and I've never found one loose, but it's still worth it every road trip.
And
Now if I was
speaking of
talking
ARB, does anyone want to come to Wyoming and help me install a little bit of something?
hey, man, I will definitely come to Morrison Trail. That is my all-time favorite trail, that Jeep Morrison. Definitely. We're like, oh yeah.
There you go, guys. Future collab video right there.
There you go.
Except for I'm not taking my wife's Grand Cherokee up this time.
Oh, come on.
I'm not losing another oil pan. And the SRT
Oh, come on. Get your kitchen pass and go. Let's go.
Actually, if I had to choose between one locker,
Yeah,
I'd
Jeep's
definitely be a
also,
selectable on the front, because then I'd take the welder and weld the rear, hands
Ooh,
down. But again, that's me not daily driving. That's me going onto a trailer. I don't think I could ever drive another welded diff unless I wanted to just throw it around every corner.
Yeah, they're definitely not fun.
See, I'm looking at ox locker because I like the cable style. It's more reliable than air. At least
Yep.
I think that it can take more of a beating. And for God forbid, whatever happens, what the beauty part about an ox locker is that you break the cable, you snap the airline, or you lose connection to the solenoid. There's a manual plug you could put in, still lock it, get it off the trail, unthread it, and then you're open again. So it's kind of fail safe.
We actually ran ox lockers front and rear on our Ultra 4 on our 4500 car. It was the best thing we ever did. The driver had full control, 2 cables pulled through. We broke one cable once, and the poor driver had to just live with the front locked. And you know how crawling up some of these places can be. He just left it locked once they locked it, because I'd rather have the front locker locked than when you need it, when rather than having the co-pilot get out and lock it every time.
Yeah, yep.
a 14-bolt rear, so my only selectable option is ARB.
Yeah. Have you looked at Eaton? Like, have you looked in Australia at Eaton? Their e-lockers are solid, but they're really pricey.
I'm not sure they offer.
Yeah, I'd have to look.
I'll look, but I don't know if they offer anything for the 14-bolt.
I mean, I would think that's a pretty
Right now, I have a
common
Torque
swap.
auto locker. Yeah, I was just listening to a podcast the other day, Total Off Road, and they had the whole show was on
Guys keep freezing on me.
lockers.
I'm
Which
not sure
one
if
do you
you're
put,
asking me
front or
questions.
rear?
Sorry.
And it was that they 14-bolt as well, and the only ARB.
Yeah, you're right. It looks like it's ARB Detroit and
Kyle,
Torque
Joe, you guys
lockers.
there? I can hear Joe.
Yeah, Jeremy's lagging pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh man, some of those you're right, totally right.
Yeah.
Talk show. Some of those auto lockers are like clack 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 on every corner on any like small throttle. It's kind of scary sometimes when you're just listening to your rig.
Yeah, that's the way my my locker is. I have the Aussie locker in the rear of my JK, and all the time I'll have people at gas stations pointing at my Jeep and saying something's wrong with it, and I'm like, no, that's just how it sounds.
That's factory.
Yep.
I paid extra for that sound.
There's no creature comforts here. Come on.
Oh no.
Dana 30 worth running a locker, save your money. If you're not going to be able to
argument.
Yeah,
This
if you're not
argument.
going to be able to save for a 44, just put a locker in and send it.
I think it depends a lot between the JK 30 and then like the older like TJ and ZJ and XJ 30s, because the JKs are quite a bit stronger. I mean, I snapped one in half, but they're still a lot stronger, I think, than
I've seen the way you drive, Kyle.
Hey, I baby it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Not according to
Not
some
on
of
that
those videos.
video.
Although you did break it in two places, right?
It's
Before
kind of
I
funny.
went tons, I had ARB in my Dana 30.
So I had a customer years ago when we were running the race shop with the buggy. He actually made us truss and then sleeve his Dana 30 just to hold up. And we told him it's not going to last. Like, it's not going to change the actual strength on the inside. But it was actually blown away because we sleeved it and he never bent another one, never cracked another one. And that's like, we talk. It is about, our sport is about trying to be as cheap as you can. Sometimes not everybody has a Shannon Campbell wallet, right?
Right.
So I can go like to my local metal yard and get a piece of tube and then spin it on the lathe at work. I know not everybody has that option, but it's something to be said too, right?
But it really depends on how you wheel, what you wheel, and the tire size. I mean, I think Jeep Talk Show even said it. Tire size plays a big part of that. Like you can lock a Dana 30 or go super aggro with a Dana 30 on 33s and be fine. 35s a little bit more questionable.
You're on the edge.
Yep. And then I've seen guys. I think Rob from Muddy Beards runs 37s on his Dana 30, and I can't vouch for how he drives, but he's been on 37s for at least a year or so. And he's still on the same axle. So
Yeah, I'm on 37s on my 32.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're not like my one video where you're in the air and on and off the throttle, you're not going to brake that much. If you got fine throttle control, like I've got a thumb throttle for a reason. So that way when I don't want to brake something, I pull the throttle on my thumb rather than the foot. And it's way more controlled going up small obstacles or even large obstacles. Yeah, Midwest. I'd say anybody
going to break that much.
Braking. What's that?
you get on that pedal, you'll break something.
You ever notice though, you will brake either in the most like convenient spot or the most inconvenient place possible. It's never like in between. Like when I tore the oil pan off our WK2, the Eco Diesel, I was on the top of Red Cone Pass in Colorado. And how do you get down with no oil pan? Like,
yeah, you don't.
Yeah, you JB Weld and pop cans. That's how you get down with oil.
Well, that's like when I snapped my my axle in half. We were like going up a riverbank, like we were in a river, and it was on Earth Day, and I felt horrible because all my diff fluid leaked right into the river, and I'm like, oh, this is some bad juju right here because all this is going in the river, and it was still like. It was like springtime, I think, and there was still a bunch of snow in the woods and everything. So it was cold, it was wet, it was muddy, and there was just nowhere good to even jack up the Jeep. And we actually had to get an off-road tow truck, and he came in and yanked us right out. So we were lucky to have him come, and I can't thank Automotive Excess enough for coming to save my ass out of the woods that day.
Call the EPA.
Yeah.
Let's not go there. I got a deleted diesel. Let's not go there.
Damn it. Curse that on us.
Do you have the same rules as we do about that then?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny. I was wondering if somebody was going to ask that. So whatever your guys' EPA says is what we do. And it's frustrating because it's the same thing like front bumper rules. You guys removed your front bumper crash testing below a certain amount. We reduced our front bumper crash testing. So there's certain things that they work really closely together with, especially when it comes to emissions. We only have like 3 provinces, and it's only certain areas of the provinces that even do emissions testing. I'm not even sure. Like Casey might not even need to do emissions testing, but if he was off the island in downtown Vancouver, I believe they still have emissions that they need to do.
I hate emissions so much.
I think I'm going to fail my next one.
Yeah, I got to get my Jeep inspected by the end of this month.
Same.
I'm not looking forward to if they ever decide to inspect me. I'm done.
How do inspections work in Canada? I know at least in New Hampshire in the U.S., we have to get it every year, but I know like on your birthday, but I know some states they don't have one or it's every couple years, but I'm not sure about Canada.
So in Alberta, once you register your vehicle, if it was an Alberta vehicle, you can just put plates on it pending a mechanical inspection. Most mechanics aren't even going to look at your exhaust system unless you have no exhaust system. But then if I were to go a few hours to the west and go to BC, they have what they call air care, which is emissions. And I think their air care is every 2 or 3 years they have to pass. And some of some of them's like, I know in Colorado, some places that literally go, they inspect to see if things are there and check a check engine light. And if there's no check engine light for it, they pass, right? So it's all province to province. The North, like if you're in the territories, there's nothing from my understanding. You could run a straight pipe. Obviously, you're going to get a noise ticket, but you're nothing that's going to stop you emissions wise there.
Are they really strict about the noise pollution up there?
It's getting really, really bad right now. Actually, so in Edmonton, 2 hours west, they have sound cameras that they've been testing.
Huh.
I can see the look. So if you break like, I think it's like 105 decibels, you're going to get like an $88 to $150 ticket, and then it goes up incremental depending on how many times you've received it.
That's pretty crazy right there.
So how are they pinpointing you in traffic?
So we have a question, guys. Sorry, we have a question from Major Weakness again. Speaking of emissions, any idea why my late Model XJ can't fill tanks without clicking pump off? The tank inlet vent seems okay.
Because it's an XJ.
It's better than with my JK. My JK, it'll only fill to like 3/4 of a tank right now, and it has that thing where it like if you have the automatic switch on the gas pump set, it'll burp out the last little bit and spill it all over the ground, and that's real fun and embarrassing when everyone starts looking at you because you're pouring gas on the ground.
The JK had a recall on that, didn't it?
The JK did have a recall on it, yeah.
But apparently not my year or my VIN or whatever, because they looked it up and it wasn't included in the recall for some reason.
Time for a fuel cell.
Yeah, that's what I just went to, a 32-gallon fuel cell. I'm done with factory tanks now.
Yeah, I don't even have a back seat anymore, so I was contemplating it.
You're gonna just.
So another question is, the other question is, do the XJs have the rollover valve that the TJs have?
I'm not sure.
Don't have a clue.
I'm not sure about.
I have no idea.
The vent is the vent valve on the tank?
Yeah, I'm not an XJ guy. I'm not real sure.
You're lucky.
I can't even feel XJ, so I'm not worried about it.
Oh, the Jeep Kitchen says yes, they do.
There you go.
So
I believe Eric on that one. Actually, yeah. Is it the newer?
Depends on the year.
Jeep Kitchen. Is it the newer ones? Was it 97 and up, 98 and up, something like that?
yeah, I think because 97 was the cutoff for like the mid-year or whatever. It was 88 to whatever, and yeah, I'm not sure.
No switch. You run upside down, fine. Just flip it over, keep going.
Oh, totally, you're hilarious. True.
The sticker, just roll me over. I'm fine.
It's true.
It's funny for my wife. On the TJ.
Good timing, Tony, as always.
So getting back to
Yes.
there, Kyle, are you gonna just run one in the cab? You think, or
I don't know. I'm still kind of doing a little bit of research on them because I don't know a whole lot about fuel cells. I've never run one before. Some people tell me there's a lot of fumes that come off of them and stuff, and where this is still my daily driver, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think when this becomes just a trail rig, I think I'll definitely go fuel cell.
Yeah, so like what I'm doing is I'm going to cut a floor I've got the luxury of a giant cargo area. So I'm going to cut a floor where my spare tire would cut a hole in the floor where the spare tire would be and drop this fuel cell in. And then I'm going to build a small like firewall so I can vent it outside the cab still. But
that's a good idea.
because, well, you have to anyway. You need a firewall between you and your fuel tank, right?
Yeah.
So I know one guy that has switched to the 32-gallon Jazz JK fuel cell, and he loves it, but he says the smell is outrageous, and he's looking at different venting systems now.
Yeah, well, and another reason I was looking at it is because I got to actually drop the tank on my Jeep because I have a wicked strong gas odor coming from it, and I'm pretty sure it's that seal around where the fuel pump actually sits in the gas tank, because I heard those go bad really quickly, but there's no way to check it unless you drop the whole tank. So.
Hey Kyle, when are we setting
So
your garage
Midwest
on fire?
Jeeper wants to set your garage on fire there, Kyle. Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
Then he wants to help build you a 3-star.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's on my home insurance. So if you guys want to start a campfire next to it and it might spread to it, we can lead a little trail of gasoline and.
Or Kyle, if
Right.
you want, rent out your garage to the local hockey team. After in the winter, you'll make some money.
I don't even think we have a local hockey team. Like I think
Just open up
like
figure
Dartmouth
skating
hockey
and
or
make
like
some
the
money.
Fisher Cats or something is what we have.
You don't have enough Canadians around then.
Yeah, and we're far north, so I'm surprised. I mean,
It's I smell roasted ramen noodle.
hey, that ramen noodle fix is still holding up. I don't care.
Until that radiator heats up.
Well, it's been cooking all summer and freezing all winter, so
Then you're solid. Like, who cares? It's better than fiberglass.
Hey, just make sure you
That's
get that
true.
new speaker, that new sound system out of there.
yeah.
Oh
Just
man,
move zip tie out of the garage
I
first.
forgot all about
And your
this
lights. I like those
ramen video.
those triple
Man, that was good
halogen.
stuff.
you have.
Oh, okay. So I'll ask it. I've done it, and I know there's probably people that hear. If you had one motor to swap into any of your rigs, what would it be?
My rig would shake apart.
This is where you tear
I
Dodge.
didn't hear the question, Joe. You froze on
How's
me.
it saying? But LS every
No, not
Steve, I asked if you had one motor option to put in your Jeep, what would you put it in? What would you put in?
Can you type
I'm
it
the
in
LS
the
guy,
comments,
right? I
Joe,
took a
so I can
Toyota
see it?
engine.
Because I'm getting some feedback here. Please.
I think I agree with Midwest Hellcat.
I would go with the 6.0 LS.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with Nate, SWB Crawler. He was saying on Dirt Lifestyle, he was did a recent video about TDI swap, and I'm seriously contemplating doing that with the JK now because I'm getting real sick of the 3.8.
What it is? I'm gonna pull up. Have you guys seen that red?
So I looked at the TDI swap and I found a company.
Oh,
Whoa, what happened here?
The TDI swap costs more than what the
what?
LS swap
LS.
kits cost.
Yep.
yeah. I lucked out. I didn't pay a ton. I took our race engine out of our 4502. It was actually a Jeep Comanche. So I took our 6-liter that was already built heavily and dropped it into my cruiser. So I didn't have to pay a ton of money in that regard. And then luckily I have my own welder. I did most of my own wiring. So that kind of helped out on that a lot. So I'm not going to lie. An LS is
I want to try to keep
wires to integrate 3. And that's most engine swaps
plug
are.
and play.
Yeah. You're gonna, and like if I were to do it again, I wouldn't use a GM harness. I would actually go and pick up a Holley Terminator system and call it a day, because it's literally drop and done. You don't need to worry about any other PCM. It's got a great self-tuning option.
I was looking at the Holley Terminator for the standalone, $1,000.
$1,000.
It should work with the JK, and I can keep everything.
Yeah, Holly is killing the LS swap game. Like they're just on top of the world with it. It's crazy.
Yeah, if I'm thinking right, I can still keep all my factory AC, heat, all that stuff, and then just use the Terminator to control the motor.
Yeah, no, you absolutely can, because you're still going to use your factory BCM. The only thing you're not going to use is your factory PCM output.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, like I know the one guy that out of Vermilion, he's about
I'd have to agree with.
West.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the one guy an hour to the west, he left every single wire in place. It looks a little sloppy, but he's running the Terminator system, and everything from his stock JK works. It's crazy.
Yeah, I might have to get that information from you, from that guy's information.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
He's pretty quiet about it. I'm trying to get him to come on the channel, but he's extremely shy in the aspect that he's just doesn't want. We're in a really weird rural position that people are afraid of other people knowing what you have. Like I had my Jeep's SRT wheels stolen off my driveway.
Wow.
Yeah. But I can see if
So I'd
he'll
have to agree
go
with
to
Jeep,
privately.
our Jeep Talk Show that I would do a LS. That's what I would do if I had to switch mine out.
I don't know. I actually have a
But
stroker
someone
sitting in my
like
shed. I
Kyle
gotta
would have to
rebuild.
pay for it.
Yeah, as far as strokers go, that's I'm gonna run the stock engine in my XJ until it just blows up or dies completely. Then I'm just gonna build a stroker motor.
I mean, just if you watch some of the rebuild videos, it looks so simple. Like I'm not an engine guy as of yet, but we'll see what happens this summer. But I mean, to put those engines together is so simple.
Yeah, they're real easy to work on.
You know?
Any
You just
XJ, yeah, the XJ motors are a breeze, and rebuilt kits are very cheap, like
Yeah.
extremely cheap, comparatively to like my Toyota Land Cruiser, the 4.5 liter. It was just as cheap for me to swap an LS in than it was to rebuild that the way I'd want to rebuild it.
Oh wow.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was thinking on my XJ too to do that injector swap because I've heard really good things about that. You can either get like the 4-hole or I think it's 6 or 8. I think you can go up to 8. I might have heard of, I think I heard like a crazy like 12-hole. I'm not sure how much better that would be compared to. I think a lot of people just do the 4-hole. I think it's a Dodge Neon injectors, if I believe.
K Suspension has a bunch of those. He's got a really good following with the XJ guys. So.
Does anybody know anyone that runs a turbo on a factory JK38? I've seen Pro Charger kits. I don't think I've ever seen anybody run a turbo on one before.
Not personally.
Yeah, there's definitely Pro Charger kits. I've just never seen a turbo kit for it. Which Pro Charger is just a belt-driven turbo anyway.
Yeah, because you have both Rip and Sprint Tech make them.
Yeah, and honestly, the one I drove, we didn't even re-gear it. It drove awesome. Other than they're not the most boost-friendly motor, but 4-hole Neon or Mustang.
For the injectors.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I
didn't know it was the Mustang.
You want me to go
too.
strip parts?
It's like a certain
Yes.
foam or something. I don't think there's much difference between the 4 and the 12 unless you really get high power or stroke. If you stroke it out.
Yeah, just adding fuel doesn't do anything for you other than allow you to have a purple tooth.
Somebody put Elephant. There it is.
Elephant.
Nice.
I'd love a Elephant motor, but I don't make that kind of money yet.
Yeah, I agree with
Right,
Jeep Talk
who
Show
wouldn't?
that turbos are pointless. I really do. Spool time's always an issue. Like I
I took my turbo diesel, the Eco Diesel 14 WK2, the Grand Cherokee up, and I can tell you the turbo doesn't kick in until it's inconvenient. So it's already too bad because you're spinning
Right.
tires at that point.
What about
I
a
just think it'd
small
be awkward also
turbo?
being off-roading and crawling or something.
I think if you had if you're talking a really small motor, a small turbo makes sense. I think it's going to be a good balance. Like
the Turbo 4 for the JL.
But nothing
yeah,
like
the Turbo
powering,
4.
yeah.
Have you test drove a Turbo 4 JL yet? I've
Yeah.
heard great things about them, but I haven't even seen one on the lot.
I mean, they're
Super
claiming that it
peppy.
has more torque than the V6, right? I
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard they're really, really peppy.
So here we're talking about not turboing, but then everybody's like the that little turbo. So I guess diesel.
I missed all that, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
I think he was saying that all the OEMs are going turbo and we're talking about not. And I think that's more back to that EPA. I'm going to turbo my 2.5.
The turbo diesel, the TDI.
Yeah. We were talking about. I think it's a small enough motor, though. It's not massive in any regards, right? TFL had problems with the Turbo 4 in high elevation areas. That's another channel I have a hard time keeping up with. They have so many videos on such a diverse topic.
It's not even off-road.
No,
either.
When they first started, it was really like truck orientated, but they do cars. It's tough now. So then when they do release good Jeep or Toyota or anything content related to the off-road, I have a hard time keeping up with them.
I actually love
that and that.
with the.
I think that's really Colorado.
See, I like the one that they did with the old school Comanche versus the new Gladiator. Although it's kind of apples to oranges in terms of that, because you're talking about a completely different truck.
Yep.
But if you purchase any vehicles that are like Wyoming, Colorado, anything like that, all of them are adjusted for the high altitudes already. So it doesn't do a lot of people that are on flatland a lot of good information.
No, you're 100% right.
That's true. Yeah, because they're so high up in the mountains.
The JLU has a 2.
We're talking a mile high, 7,000, 8,000 feet. Then they take it off road up to Libby Flats or anywhere else in Colorado, and it's 9,000 to 12,000 feet.
I guess it's kind of where depends on where you live.
If
you're
totally.
on the East Coast, you're not going to see those type of elevations unless you're climbing Mount Washington.
I mean, it's just like.
I know it's funny. We were talking elevations, and
It was just like I was four-wheeling. One of my videos I did was, it was a Colorado trail. I can't remember, Middle St. Vrain, and we were out four-wheeling. There's like 6 of us, and nobody's air compressors worked because of the high altitude.
That's crazy.
That'd be such a shock to me because I'm just not used to that altitude at all.
That's it. That's why I think
it's something that people just don't think about.
Holy SWB crawler.
Oh, he couldn't stay away. He couldn't
take it.
Yeah, he messaged me, said he wanted to come on.
Rare Earth. So Rare Earth task. He mentioned that he put it in, and it's funny because you say a 6L80, and if I was daily driving my LS swap, 100% 6L80, because I wheel it, 4L80 with a manual valve body conversion, without a doubt. Other than the low gearing sucks because I'd run a doubler.
Well, I thought Nate was coming on, but
looked like he was.
It's like
you talk about doubler. What's everybody? What's everybody as far as transfer cases go?
Well, I think Atlas is kind of the cream of the crop, but if you can afford it, that is.
I would drop an Atlas in, or I think it's
Dana 300.
Yeah, I would definitely take a Dana 300. I still run my Toyota Land Cruiser case because it's gear driven. It's hard to beat, to be honest.
I was gonna say, how do those fare? Because I have I'm Toyota ignorant to this
So
point.
the FJ80s are really strong because it's a gear driven transfer case. So I've got to set a 0.91 to, or my 1-to-1 is now 0.9 to 1. So my high gear is 0.9 to 1, so I can keep my highway RPMs down. But then I also have a 3.1 to 1 on my 4 low, which I'm typically in 4 low. I'm never really in 4 high per se. But it's awesome. The only thing I would do right away is I would actually take the viscous coupler and convert it to a 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive rather than an all-wheel drive transfer case.
I was gonna say that's the fail point, right?
Yeah, I've got one that's starting to go. I've got a spare transfer case even. So.
Oh, so Tony's down there bragging.
So if anyone's out there that wants to, start sponsoring any of us, you guys would be more than happy to do so.
Yeah.
Nate is contractually obligated to use Red Hat Linux now, so he may not make it on.
Tony is such a ball buster. Oh man.
Maybe he has to put the red hat on to make him appear on the screen.
It was in the background of the last podcast, wasn't it?
Is he part of that Red Hat Lady Society or whatever?
Yes.
It's a positive thing. Yeah, Tony, I agree. The Data 300, I've heard a lot of good things. I believe it's either factory twin stick or you can make it a twin stick. It's just fabbing it up into getting it to work with some of the newer stuff. Because I believe they're out of CJs, right?
CJs, yeah. I think it's CJs. Yeah. They're super strong. I want to put one behind my Land Cruiser just because it's a better fit for what I'm doing than just even my factory transfer case, which is strong enough. But
there's one floating around on Facebook Marketplace right now for about $300. I'm like, oh, I might want to look into that, but I just got to see what it's involved. But I that's passenger dump, isn't it? It's the opposite side.
Yes.
I could be wrong.
I think it is.
That would be the only holdup for me.
Kyle,
I'd love to be able to do the whole front dig, front wheel drive.
Front wheel drive on it.
So what do you guys think about low gearing versus horsepower? Like I know Fred Williams from Dirt Every Day, he had his Clampy and what did it have, like 6-something gearing or something crazy like that?
Having run low gearing, I've ran a doubler before. It's awesome. Like you get out, walk beside it, and you can walk faster than it goes in high speed, which is really wicked. and then the fine control of making it up an obstacle, like
that helped me with my filming.
Yeah, exactly. I can do my own custom shots.
Yeah, just have the Jeep do itself. That's like the Tesla's autopilot right there.
Yeah, but like going up in Moab, the guys with doublers, they crawl up things, whereas like where I am now, I've got to torque bump almost everything, right? I have to use torque or else when you get to a point, like, and even I have fairly low gearing, it being 3.1 to 1 and then usually 529s. But there is something to be said about low gearing versus horsepower. And
I think you'd brake less.
Oh, you absolutely do. You're not going to bind things up as easy.
But that's is it the 4RE? Like I said, I'm not a Toyota guy. Is it the 4RE engine? It's a 4-cylinder, right?
Oh yeah, you're talking that 2.4 liter that everybody uses.
Right, that's like low horsepower, but it's the gearing that gets you through everything, right?
Yeah, 2FE, 3FE, and yeah, the 2AZFE, whatever it is. Yeah, it's
not a Toyota guy.
Yeah, I know. They're 2.4 liter, 22RE. God.
That's it. Yep. Okay.
So that's those guys. Like my buddy, he's his 4Runner, which is a giant rust bucket. It outwheels me in 2-wheel drive going up obstacles because of torquing, right? He crawls up things very controlled. He doesn't make it up the really big obstacles because he still needs the horsepower, especially when he's in 2-wheel drive. But yeah, no, it's a 2.4 liter. They have a 2.2 as well, but they have a 2.4 liter that's a 22 RE.
And that's the one that you can't kill. It's kind of like the equivalent of the 4.0. Like you
Run it without
oil.
put oil in it, drive it again.
Yeah, you can. They're a tank.
Yeah.
I always love when a $500 rig will
It's a Jeep talk
outwheel
show.
like this totally built up rig.
That's why I bought an XJ. That is all I could afford at the time.
I had a 91 Yoda on my 35s.
I was gonna say Snail Trail, right? He does a lot of Toyota stuff too.
I traded in a brand new 2017 Tundra for my Jeep.
How'd you like your Tundra?
I loved it. It was awesome, but the payment was $700 a month, and I just so I traded it in.
Did I?
for a
I just
used
got rid of my 07 for my
Rubicon.
Cummins, so I know what you mean. They're an awesome truck, but
That's a big monthly payment, though.
that's
I liked how they have this.
And 13.
They have that
hour.
low gear slip grab where when you get stuck, it just automatically catches as you drive, and you don't have to touch throttle or nothing. It just slowly grinds you out. Loved it. It was awesome. But like I said, $700 a month, traded it in, and I could have gotten 2 Jeeps for that payment. So
Was that
Yeah.
the Pro Tundra?
anything with the
I'm sorry, I
off
can't
road
remember.
from
It was a
Toyota.
17.
Anything off road badged has that, so to speak, crawl control as they call it now. It's
TRD.
unbelievable. It's their
It's
Toyota.
amazing in sand too. It's amazing.
Like you would.
Yeah, it's got it's sand, like wet or mud and something.
Yeah,
They
their
have
terrain
settings.
control. Their terrain control system. They've been killing
Oh
it
yeah.
forever. And Jeep finally. Oh, there we go. Nate's in.
It's over.
Yeah.
Hi, Nate.
I don't see him yet.
Yeah, that's what
Welcome to the channel.
I'm. There we go. Sending you to live. Update successful. You should be in now.
There he is.
There he
Yay.
is. I see him in the small.
Yay.
So one bonus, at least the
Welcome,
chat works
Nate.
this
Now we
time.
have another hour with you.
He's not wearing the
So
red
no, I
hat
got my
though.
Toyota stuck in this.
No, it's on the wall.
Snowdrift,
Right.
and that just grinded right out. It was
We were
lovely.
told you were
I
going to
loved
wear it.
I
But
could,
then
I
I
guess,
sent my
but
wife
then I couldn't wear
out
the
of town
headphones.
for her birthday and decided to trade it and get the Jeep.
I'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. I got to run and put the steaks on.
Oh, put
send
one on
some
for
my
me.
way.
Hey, put one on for me.
Yeah. Might need a beer, some onions, and steak. Yeah, I already drank all mine. So I had to run out halfway through.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Well, I
I'll
was
keep with my Coke.
drinking
Yeah, I
Giga.
gotta stay family friendly on my channel.
Well, you're on my channel now.
Man,
I was
this
gonna
this
say,
is
right?
worth like 3 of those.
That's true.
I'm a school teacher full time, so I gotta be careful a little bit. I have
Oh, right.
families that watch it sometimes.
Well, yeah, all those kids make you want to drink, right?
Hey, but
You
now
know what?
Copa, you just say no kids allowed.
No, I do that, but still, I have a lot of actually a lot of my followers are some of my parents.
Well,
So, I don't want to say, oh, I need a drink because you're kids. 'Cause,
don't
actually, I love my students. I'm actually a special ed teacher, so I enjoy it. It's fun.
don't teachers have a special set of laws to apply to them when it comes to like drinking in public and whatnot? I thought I heard that somewhere a long
I
time
got
ago.
a cooler full of 420. Reading some of the comments here.
Sorry, you guys didn't hear that, right?
Nope.
What's that?
Hear what?
I'm trying to get my kid to give me a beer.
Oh,
Not
There you go. That's how it's
Is up.
done.
Get me a beer.
Finally at that age.
Hey, wife,
Teach the dog to fetch
come
one.
on.
I did see a
White
video
Lady
where
beer.
a dog fetched a beer from a fridge. They had like a towel tied to the door, and he pulled it open, grabbed a beer, and gave it to the guy, and closed the fridge. So
That's the way to do
Yeah,
it. If you don't
I,
got kids, get the dog to do it.
Right?
We
Get
should have
someone
had
to
Joe bring one back with him.
A beer?
Hey, Joe, where's the beer?
I just shotgun a pilsner.
Joe, we're on
Hey, you
the.
got 2 hands. One to put the steak on, one to drink, right?
I drank enough when I was in the Marine Corps. I don't need to drink much now, so I'm good with that.
I've been drinking it for a few weeks now. It's my go-to. Taxman.
All right, so what's a good topic?
Hi, Nate's wife.
Yep, she's hanging out here.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
And they're
Oh,
both
she's
wearing
leaving.
red
It's,
for
Joe,
She got
it's
bored.
remembering everyone deployed.
She can't hear you
It's an
guys
on-
anymore because I put on the headphones. So now she's bored.
She was making
See, Nate's
What
drinking.
is that,
Nate's
Jeremy? A
drinking beer.
Heineken?
I'm not
A
on meds
Heineken?
anymore, so I can drink. Oh, look at this.
Oh, there's
oh, party
oh,
foul.
little head on the screen.
Did
She shook it
That's
up.
going viral.
did your kid get angry about having to bring you a beer and shook it?
Oh, son of a gun. Logan, I'm going to kill you.
Is it all over the keyboard? That's the important part.
Yes, it is.
Ah,
Look at you guys. Now you know why.
You gotta
That was
lose
awesome.
it right off the keyboard now. Don't
Was it
waste that
Youngling?
beer.
Now that's going to be.
I think
gotta
I'm more
drink
afraid
it
now.
out.
My wife is going to kill me.
Mike did it.
Oh, shit.
don't do it again. What are you doing?
Let it rest.
I'd ask for another one, but I'd probably be twice
Oh
as bad.
God!
Here comes the dog to be on the show.
Oh.
You know they're probably laughing their asses off in the other room.
Top.
Hey, Logan, did you do that on purpose?
I've got a parrot.
Ah.
A parrot.
Now
dog.
we have the pet lovers coming on the stream.
What,
Come on,
what
we got a
your
dog.
feelings
Join the
about-
live stream.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, I'll be right back. One
Should
sec.
I try?
No,
Do it.
don't try it again.
What are
Open
your
it slowly.
feelings on drinking
Hold
while
it like
wheeling.
way
The
over.
younger
Over
one
the
did it.
kid's
We'll
head.
see. Hold on.
Over the kid's head.
Ah.
There you go.
I had to default to the younger one.
The one that doesn't shake the beer.
Yeah, the one that doesn't shake the beer. You're the better one. Good job. Thank you. Because
Could
Dad's
be
getting
like
drunk.
who was that? Doctor Evil.
Go. Mini me.
Yes.
All right, so what's every?
All right, go watch your movie.
Oh, there's another pet now. We're here.
Oh, look at the Poochie.
Now we have dogs on the.
All right, I'm back.
Wow, we went off the rails.
A little bit.
Yeah, let's see if we got any more questions. Anyone in the chat have any more questions for us?
Oh, we're here to talk about Jeeps.
Yeah, maybe.
Or
Is
by
that why
force.
we're
We could talk about beer. We could talk about anything we want. It's our show.
beer and dogs
What is
and kids who shake their beers up?
This just has
What
to be
is, what's your
entertaining. It
feelings
doesn't
on
have to be
wheeling
educational.
or drinking while wheeling?
I don't support it,
Ooh.
but
Never.
yeah.
Yeah, not till
I'll wait till I get back to camp, and I'll have a brewski. But after that, no. I
Yeah,
don't-
drinking
not
and
at
wheeling
all.
is
I completely disagree with it.
no go for me. Not just because
think
in
we
PA
have a
we only have
responsibility not only for off-roading to leave it better than we found it, but also to show responsibility.
I mean,
I have 4 kids, so I don't want my kids to go out drinking and driving regardless of what environment it's in.
Yeah.
So I don't support it.
in PA here we're all off-road parks, right? So there's no alcohol allowed. But even aside from that, operating a vehicle under the influence.
I do think I'm going to go up to Canada and steal Joe's chair there. I like that chair.
Yeah, there you
This
go.
chair is awesome.
There you go.
Staples.
Oh, you heard me. Sorry.
I don't blame you. Steal it all you want. It's super comfy. We're in the same boat actually. If you're drinking and operating a motor vehicle in Canada, and even off the road, you're getting a DUI
Really?
if you get caught. Yep.
Well, it's
I
like
just
in
think it's a responsibility thing.
in New Hampshire, most of our trails are Class 6 roads, which are still legal roads. They're just not maintained by the town. So it's drinking and driving. The people that you see out there and they're drinking and driving, if Fish and Game or whoever is out on the trails as well, they can arrest you for it and impound your vehicle. I know it's kind of it seems like it's a different animal out on the West Coast almost compared to the East Coast.
100%. The Rubicon is like, when I went to the Rubicon, people talk about the Rubicon being the most like clean trail. It's awesome, but I probably picked up a dozen to 24 empty cans just from the people in front of me.
Wow, that's
how I was when I went
right.
to Tennessee. I went to Tennessee and I kept picking up a lot of soda cans, water bottles, but also beer cans and
That's awesome.
and bottles. Like I said, I hate it. I hate it. I don't think there's any place for it 4-wheeling.
Yeah, we
And like I
get
said, get back to camp, throw it back, have fun at camp, enjoy it then, but not when you're driving.
Do you guys keep like a bag or something on like the passenger side floor or something you throw? You throw the stuff in as you kind of either eat it, drink it, whatever, or what do you guys typically do with that?
They had those spare tire mounted trasheroos too. Those are decent.
Yeah, I picked up a trasheroo like 5 years ago, and that's what I use to hold all my empties and garbage.
And the cool thing is, Spiderweb Shade makes one that's made out of the same mesh
from
that they're
Wounded Warriors here in Colorado. It's something they put together for military people, and I got one of the bags that go on the back. I just throw it out there and use it.
The mesh ones
They
even
work
let
great. My
like
daughter,
them
when
drain,
we were in
right?
Moab
So
2 years ago, threw a thing of yogurt that was stale, rotten, or whatever. She threw it in there, almost all of it in there. I'm like, oh shit! It was goopy and had sand all over it. It cleaned up real nice. It was spray it off. It was good to go. So.
Nate, on those mesh ones, I can totally see that because we did a trail cleanup, my kids and I, and we were picking up stuff that had water in it.
Yep.
And it weighs down the bag. It's nasty. But yeah, the mesh ones I could totally see being like a benefit.
they're just in the end they're cleaner.
That's what I have. And when you're because you hang them off the back of the spare tire, and like in Moab, we have a lot of weight in them. Man, you get the sand goes right through it. You don't have to worry about any of that. They're real nice.
Yeah, and if you get yogurt in one of those, it'd be just like a Play-Doh Fun Factory coming out all the little holes in it.
It was
then I
quite
lose
nasty.
Then I lose it to my
lie.
kid. He's going to use it for Play-Doh.
Thank you, dear. My beer delivery.
You got the whiskey? Oh.
Hey, and he even said, thanks, dear. You going to give her a kiss now?
No, she ran away. She didn't want to be on camera.
Yours does the same thing?
Yep.
Mine hides upstairs or hides. She actually filmed one video for me, and she's like, I'm never going on your camera, and I turned it around on her once. So
you want to hear something sad? I've had this channel since May. My wife just subscribed last week.
I don't even know if my wife subscribes.
Yeah, same here. I don't know if my wife subscribes.
One video.
My wife hates my YouTube thing, and she wants nothing to do with it, so I don't have to worry about it.
I guess that's a kind of a good topic to go up. It's kind of on a tangent, but we're all YouTubers, so like spouses, significant others. Do you think like having their support is beneficial to
Absolutely.
your YouTube channel?
It's
I don't, my wife, she doesn't harp on me about it. I mean, she doesn't mind it. My girlfriend, that's a different story, but
oh, Jesus,
I'm joking.
For me, it's a balance.
This is recorded, Steve, so people will be able to play this back at your trial. I mean,
this is live.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, she's like just like you, Mark. She doesn't.
So
she doesn't like it, but go ahead, Jeremy.
Is he frozen?
On us.
Guess not. He seems like he's having some bandwidth problems.
Yeah.
Started my wife.
Yeah, that's why Doug had to leave. He was having
watch.
internet issues too.
Oh, yeah, my
Hey, Jeremy, put your comment real quick over and type it out so we can see it for you. We want you to be part of this.
Yeah, I was going to say my wife, she tries. She just doesn't understand a lot of my quote unquote phases. I've always been a car guy,
Phases.
Always working on wrench. Yeah, phases. And she tolerates it at best. She's not. I wouldn't say super supportive, but I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going to peel away from what we're doing to go edit or film or something like that. I kind of have to do it when I have the free time, and it's obviously family first, and I understand that, but it's not like, hey,
there's times where I do put the family aside a little bit just to put a video out, but I agree. My daughter, she's the one that my son got me into editing because I went to the Seattle television network for high schoolers for competitions. And I saw all these kids doing all these phenomenal videos and editing and everything else. And I'm like, hell, let's try it. So my son taught me a little bit. He told me I need to get an Apple computer, but I'm still using Windows and the Filmora. So, but he got me into the editing and filming of it all. And then my daughter, she's the one that goes out in four wheels with me all the time. And when she turns 16, she gets my Jeep or I go buy her a new one. So
I gave my wife an option back to video game addictions or 4x4 addictions with YouTube. So she chose the YouTube and 4x4 addiction.
At least you get to go outside with that one. It costs a whole lot more, though.
I always tell her, there's a lot of worse things I could be doing. I could go out to the bar or something. At least I'm at home.
That's true. That's true. To
Yep.
go to the bar.
Oh no, robots took over Mark again.
Oh no.
Oh, is that happening to you, Matt? It's funny. Unrelated to this cast, my podcast, we were trying out Lightstream, and I had one co-host that had the same problem you're having right now. And
so Jeep Kitchen said that he's had his Jeep longer than he's had his wife. So Jeep Kitchen in comments, which one did you trade in first?
Obviously. If the wife is if the Jeep's the second wife, there's an issue, isn't it?
Maybe.
I took my wife wheeling once, and I think that was kind of the nail.
Well,
She's like, I'm never doing this again. I can't believe you bring your kids with you when you do this. I'm like, it's
Yeah, my wife really hates wheeling. She's been with me on some small trails like once, but she really hates it. But she is a super supportive about my YouTube channel, and she's made a lot of the stuff that I have hanging up in the office, and she helped me decorate these shelves up behind me here. So she's really supportive and helpful. And if I need help filming or something, she's a professional photographer, so she knows what to look for. So she doesn't mind
Nice.
holding the camera or something for me. So it's really nice to have someone that's there to kind of have your back and kind of know what you're talking about. Because a lot of times we talk cameras too, and you kind of lose a lot of people. They don't know what you're talking about. Especially when you get into like DSLRs and ISO and shutter speed and all that, and people's eyes just kind of glaze over.
Yep.
That's actually a good time.
I was about to go to college.
I was just going to say cameras is a great topic because I want to bring up, like, I'm right now, I'm this close to buying a second drone. I don't use my current drone, but it doubles as a camera. I don't know if you guys have looked it up, but it's the Power Egg X. And it's awesome because it's got a gimbal built into it. You can use it as a camcorder on a tripod, and the follow feature works on a tripod. So the gimbal follows you across the screen on a tripod, which is awesome. And then you can use it as a handheld recorder, and then of course convert it to a drone, and it's waterproof.
That's pretty cool.
3.5 hours. 3.5 hours of filming standalone and like 30 minutes of flight time.
I bet it's super affordable too.
So the other night after I watched Light Bright's video on when they were buying the drone. And so I went on and I registered mine. And as a commercial, if you're doing it for a hobby, it's $17.99. And if you're doing it commercially, it was $27.99 for the registration of the drone itself. Then you have to go and get the license to fly them as well.
Yeah, I've got
like
my
$150.
I picked up my license here in Canada, and
Yeah, Canada's pretty crazy. I was watching
Crazy.
Peter McKinnon had a video all on it. I don't know if any of you guys are subscribed to him. He kind of does camera reviews and camera tips and tricks and stuff. And you have to go through basically like a flight course, like you'd be flying a plane.
Yep.
Yeah, so you got like 3 steps essentially. You're gonna get your basic, which just allows you to fly like a toy, and then you've got your advanced, which still doesn't allow you to fly almost anywhere near a city. But then once you do a flight review, which is kind of what he's talking about, where you got to go visit an official flight reviewer, and these tests are very geared towards a pilot, not a drone operator, which is frustrating in that aspect too.
Yeah, and it's not cheap, right?
It's not cheap at all.
No, well, just drones in general aren't cheap.
The Part 7 test I know is 150.
150. See, it's only $25 for the testing here, but then you have an annual license.
Yeah, but the baseline drone test here is good for up to what, 400 feet, which is usually pretty good.
400 feet. When are you ever going to go?
Well, 400 feet from a structure or people, and then you can also fly over it up. Like you can go up to 400 feet also. So, let's say for example you're filming because you're a commercial and you're filming a high-rise building that's over 400 feet, you can go above that at that point, but you have to stay within a certain distance from that building. It still. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. I mean, if you're not commercial or you're not monetized, I don't think they can really do much, right?
They don't. No, not at all. If you're not you can do it without being monetized. If that's the catch.
I mean,
That's the
if
big
it's
thing
not
right there is the money
commercial,
from
like
it.
you're
If you
getting paid.
monetize your videos, right? Exactly, because you're a commercial pilot. Then that's what they consider it.
Yeah, I had a drone.
'Cause I went
shot
in,
one
I
video
bought
with
my,
it, and I never did it again. It
my
was such
Spark.
a pain.
Yeah, I'm too
Sorry.
poor for drones.
Me too. No drones for me.
I'm
lucky I have this.
Hey, mine's sitting
Actually,
over here too.
along those lines. So DSLR versus action cam. Thoughts?
I'd love to get a DSLR. They give you so many more options. I'm sure Kyle could tell us so much more about it, but the GoPro is just so simple.
Froze on me.
I run.
Froze or you guys froze?
I run both. My DSLR takes better beauty shots. My GoPros take better interactive shots and way less cumbersome.
Yeah, I think the problem I see a lot of times with people filming using a GoPro or an action cam, whether it's the Osmo or whatever it is they put it in one spot and they just completely leave it there. So you're just like 20 straight minutes of on the dashboard, and that gets boring, and people don't want to watch that.
Yep.
So you gotta change up the spots. Like I know for my GoPro, I have one of the it's like a clamp mount. I think they call it the jaw mount. It's like a chip bag clip kind of thing.
Those like spring-loaded ones.
Yeah, and I can really just kind of clip it on anywhere that I need to, and it allows me to change the position of it pretty frequently, and I'll put it on other people's rigs, so it's not always like the side of my Jeep, and face it backwards, forwards, underneath, suspension shots, just to get a variety of shots.
Hey, welcome to the Midfire.
That way you can kind of switch it up, and because they recommend to keep people's attention span to change every few seconds. You don't want to have a long shot unless it's like a super important shot that is doing a lot of explaining, or someone's talking or something like that.
Very true.
I have those little sticky things hidden all over my Jeep. That way I can just move my GoPro mount everywhere. I have it even to where I can turn it upside down under my rig. So I completely agree with Kyle.
I got my buddy to 3D print me about 10 different clamps. So I've got them all over the vehicles. I've got 4 on the sled. So it's just the whole different vantage point.
I went to Harbor Freight, bought $4 magnets that have little hooks on them, drilled them out, used 1/4-20 bolts, and now I have a magnetized mount I can put anywhere in my rig.
Nice.
I love
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
you
I
should
mean,
do a video on that.
like
Yeah, it's a
official
Bugs
I
Life app
did
about
actually. I just
GoPros.
never released it.
official good GoPro mounts aren't cheap. I mean, like,
It's a Bugs Life asked about GoPros, and pros and cons on them. I actually have like 7 different GoPros that I use, but
Jesus.
the GoPro 7, like the Jeep Kitchen said, it's pretty solid. It does
Yeah.
have the built-in stabilizer on it, so it
the
helps.
Hyper
I've
Smooth
heard a
is
lot of
why I
good
bought my
things about the
7.
GoPro 8 also.
Yeah, the 8 is
I
supposedly
haven't
better.
looked into those yet as much. So
I have to say the one con to any GoPro is the sound quality. I
Yep.
mean, now on the newer ones,
Yeah.
you're able to attach an external mic, and you can get these cases and stuff, and it's just not. It's still not as good as like a DSLR or a point
So
and shoot camera or
The
something.
thing with the external is it turns your GoPro,
agreed
nice
wholeheartedly.
sleek
I actually
GoPro,
bought
into
because I have the
this.
adapter for my GoPro 7, and then I bought an external or a mic for my collar, and I tried to put a video together the other day, and then I went to edit it. None of the audio was on there again, so it is touchy with that as well. And then if you have the speaker with the mic, hooked up to the adapter that goes on the GoPro, and you're driving, you get a lot of vibration off of it also. So you have to be careful with that. So I
You like my
completely
nice
agree with
sleek GoPro?
Kyle.
I mean, this is the problem with the internal mic versus the external mic. Now it's not nearly as like easy to put anywhere, and
Not
this
a
is no longer
show-
Talk
waterproof.
show said
Right?
they got 2
It's just as big as the DSLR at that point.
Yeah, right. So like, if I had just a DSLR,
what's that?
the difference is that this is like autofocus and whatever, you know?
What if you
Yeah.
don't want a fisheye?
Yeah,
Some
that's the other
cameras
thing.
have that. Actually, what's it called? The Tech Dad, or I forgot what his name is. He does a lot of good tech reviews. The Everyday Dad, I think. He did one against with the one that I bought, and it was because of his review, the Sony FDR 3000, which I have. It has that fisheye appearance against like what the GoPro has, which it has the warping on the outer edge.
So you can,
Well, yeah, on
you
the
can
newer
turn
ones,
off.
you can.
Sorry, you can turn off wide on this one, but I don't. I've never tried it, so I don't know if it actually removes the fisheye or not. I think it does, but I don't know for sure.
If
Yeah,
I think
from
all
what
it's
I've
doing
seen,
is
it
a
does.
digital zoom.
I
Basically,
on my s'more video. Sorry, go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I've seen videos, and if you just take off that little fisheye thing, you can do it. And then I also know in Adobe Premiere, you can you can remove it after the fact too. There's plugins that you can just drop onto it, and you'd be all right.
So, quick little secret on mine is some of my
so you guys hear my wife
when I
chasing the
put the
girls around.
glitch in my videos sometimes, 'cause I have a couple cheaper GoPros. I use the glitch because some of the filming isn't as nice as I'd like, so I kind of use that to my advantage to make it kind of look old school or glitchy. I just use that as part of the videoing itself.
And I just picked up 2 knockoff GoPros. Essentially, they're called Yeez. YI.
Yep.
I just picked up 2 of them for like
Yeah.
$100 on Facebook Marketplace. I'm blown away at the sound quality because I've got a couple of the other branded ones. I think one's the Dragon Touch. They take great video quality,
The
but their
problem with some
audio
of those is that
horrible.
that auto.
But yeah, the Yeez seem really solid for what I've paid.
They're a good kind of comparison to the GoPro, and
Yeah.
definitely much cheaper. And I believe what the 4K one is pretty comparable. I think it even has like video stabilization.
It has video
It's probably-
stabilization. Yeah,
Yep. I was looking into that.
I'll have to
before
look
when
into
it was-
those.
yeah. I think they're $100 on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
that's
got to be
way
careful
better.
though, because I picked up a cheap. It was like a GoPro 3 knockoff, and
I like my 360 camera. I enjoy using that.
it just the one I got. It's just not high enough quality. The audio doesn't sync right. There's all kinds of problems.
Yeah, I don't
So-
use like my Dragon Touch is my GoPro 5 knockoffs, I think. 5 or 6. They take great video quality, but I don't use their audio because their audio is horrendous.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
like if you're
Well,
recording,
it's
say, with a
just so hard to
GoPro
match
next
the audio
to.
when you use 4 or 5 different types of cameras, because all
Oh.
the audio is different on it. Then you're trying to edit it, and it just everything's all over the board. You're listening to it one moment, It's soft. The next minute it comes in loud, and you're blaring it, and
Premiere
makes
Pro.
editing a bitch.
Premiere Pro.
Premiere Pro for sure.
Premiere Pro.
Yeah, Premiere Pro will sync it, but the problem I have with my action cam is that it literally seemed to record at a different rate somehow.
Maybe I'll be changing that and investing in that instead of putting more money into my Jeep.
I had trouble syncing with the 4K footage from the GoPro 7. I think it was the 7. Yeah, it was the 7, and my computer.
And what do you use, Mark?
Like right now, at the time I was using Filmora 9. Now I'm on Filmora Pro, and I actually have a PC better designed for editing. I was doing it on an old school Mac, which I'm actually on right now.
Okay.
Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go tend
It's
to my
funny, we
steak.
put so much money into our rigs and so much money into this other stuff, and we're trying to become YouTubers, and yet we use the shoddiest crap to edit and to put everything out there.
But
We
hey,
need to
but
do it
the
the
big,
opposite
the
way.
big YouTubers tell you though, just use what you got.
Yeah.
They prefer
Yeah,
the
yeah, you have to
content
build it.
over the quality, right?
Lightbright's using a freaking iPhone.
Yeah, and that's
Yep.
a lot of these big guys are just going iPhone. They're not iPhone, Android. They're not investing in
Yep.
$1,300 cameras every day.
Have you seen the step up that?
Well, and the thing
Lightbright's
is,
been doing as a
I'd rather have
bundle?
10 or 20 videos.
Portrait. Hey, don't hate on the portrait,
Go
Jeep
ahead,
Talk. I totally
Oh, the
forget
portrait
sometimes. I
conversation
totally
again.
forget sometimes. Like, especially in selfie mode. It's simple as enough. It's like this, and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot I'm not recording like this. I need-
Friends,
what-
don't let friends
Yeah.
record in portrait
And
mode.
everything's backwards.
That's a good
Yeah.
shirt name.
But anyways, guys, I'm gonna run. My steaks are gonna need to be tended to, and it's been an hour and a half, so it has been a slice.
Well done
Really?
steaks.
Yep, bring it
Not
on
well
down,
done.
Joe.
They're on the
Thank you for
smoker.
Nice
They're
to
going to
meet
be
you,
far
Joe.
from well done. They won't even be half cooked yet.
Oh, okay. That's
anyways,
better.
And then Canada, what's the weather there?
Currently about 41 degrees Fahrenheit, but dropping.
Yeah.
It
That's
is.
funny. That's about what it is here.
Yeah,
it'll take 'em a little
we're
bit.
in like we get what we call
You have
Chinook.
another 45 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, 45 minutes. No, I got people upstairs and more beer to shotgun.
Mm.
And I got a sled to get ready because I'm going out.
So
Film
Nick
another
G
sled
said that
video.
he uses an old iPhone and a GoPro.
So, anyways, guys, take care. I will chat with you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
I agree with that Jeep Talk show. They were talking that the thing they hate the most about YouTube is, at least from the creator point of the view, is that YouTube has the total control over our content.
Yeah, so
and, how it's put out there, and I completely agree with that. I haven't had I've had very few of my videos hit over 1K. Yeah, I get that challenge, and I think that what happens when you get put on different platforms, then you get bumped up in the algorithm. Whereas, most of the time my videos, I get maybe 200 views.
Yeah, you can go. Go ahead.
The problem is YouTube is the place where people go.
No,
for
that's all I
videos.
was saying is I just think that the way YouTube does it, if you have 5 or 6 different people searching and pulling you up and watching one video in different areas, I think it pushes you up higher in the algorithm. Other than that, it's a shot in the dark.
The thing with the YouTube algorithm is you kind of have to hit it viral, because the smaller guys have a much harder time breaking out, whereas
Absolutely.
the guys who are established can put out different. They don't have to. The algorithm definitely favors the
Right.
bigger guys. Like
Actually,
Lance,
I just watched an interesting video on it, and it basically said within the first week is when you want to rank the highest and the best. So you want to focus on what your keywords are, what your thumbnail looks like, because the more likes and engagement you get in your video, it's going to put, like, you'll start up high in the content. Like the day of you release your video, it'll show high in the search rankings, just because YouTube always puts new content up top. And then as it goes down through, and like weeks and weeks, you get knocked down unless your video is getting lots of views and likes and engagement. That's when it starts to go back up or stay in the top page. So it's really about a lot of engagement.
But the engagement's a key word there, because what you're saying is likes, and it's not necessarily likes either. If you get thumbs down on a video, that's still engagement,
Yeah.
which still pushes you higher in the algorithm. So if you have a crappy video and you get a bunch of thumbs down, it still gives you that higher count, because it's still, like you said, Kyle, it's engagement rather than whether it's a good video or bad
Yeah,
video.
it's what people watch is really what it comes down to. If people are interacting with your video, they're watching it.
Yeah,
And I kind of disagree with that. I think that if you're getting a bunch of dislikes, it shouldn't be pushed up.
Yeah, but people are watching it is the thing, right? YouTube cares about content that they can
What's
put
that?
ads in. That's it.
Yeah, they care about how long someone is staying on their platform.
Yeah.
YouTube wants people to stay on YouTube. So even if they're hitting the dislike button, they're still on YouTube. So YouTube
Exactly.
doesn't care if you're hitting the thumbs up, thumbs down. You're still on the
You're
website.
engaged.
It's
Yep,
views and
exactly.
view time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And another
So I
thing,
get a ton of views. That's just my view time. Thanks.
I see a lot when new YouTubers start out. They start getting comments, but they don't respond to every single one of their comments. And I think that's probably one of the worst things you can do is not respond to comments, because even if you have a tiny audience, they're tuning in to hear you and they want to know more. They're leaving a comment. They're engaged. And if you don't respond back, it's like you don't care about your community. So why are they gonna like help you grow? Whereas if you're engaging with them, talking with them, then they're gonna be like, oh, this guy's nice enough to respond to my comment. Let me share one of his videos, or let me reply back, and you get more engagement.
That made me think about, Kyle, is that's a good point, because a lot of times when I always try to respond. It's funny that It's a Bug's Life is commenting on this a little bit. I didn't comment on one of their posts one time because they replied to me and asked me a question, and I think she does a great job with that on It's a Bug's Life. Is that someone will leave her a comment and she'll respond with another question, which then in turn gets another comment, so it's even more engagement rather than just saying, "Hey, thanks, thumbs up."
I respond to just
she's
about
getting
every
even
comment I
more
get,
engagement by
whether they're positive or
engaging in
negative.
that conversation. So she does a good job with that.
That tire changer video I have that I hate so much has so much negative comment, but I respond to every one of them, every single one I respond to, and I don't know, that video is successful, I think, because of it.
You gotta love the negative comments as much
I'm reading
as
some of
the
the comments.
positive comments. You can't think one is better than the other. It's all just feedback.
Right.
People can think whatever they want, but you just got to do what you want to do and what's going to make you happy. And if that's releasing a video on a tire dismounter, and if it doesn't go over well, hey, you had fun. You made a video. You learned stuff. You gained experience from it.
Well, I mean,
Right.
People.
I
take
agree
time
with
to
that.
do comments. I mean, writing comments isn't always easy. You know, they took time to actually come back and say, "Hey, your music sucks." It's like, okay, well, I'm sorry.
I appreciate your time. Why did you have to be so harsh?
Or why are you using music? Or wait, why do you have a Gladiator grill on your Jeep? Get rid of the angry face grill. I'm like, hey, thanks for the comment.
I'm probably
think about it.
opening up a can of worms, but most of my, I don't even want to call it negative. Most of constructive feedback I get is about music, and most of them fall in the time when I was trying to use free music.
Yeah.
And when I, thanks to Kyle, ponied up to go into like a paid music service, those comments have kind of come down. Like I don't see them nearly as much.
I've definitely noticed you have to have, for the off-roading videos at least, a real good balance between hearing the engine and also hearing the music, because the music you choose, you may like it, but it might not be anyone else's style, or they might not care about the music. So they just want to mute it or something, but they like to hear the sounds of the engine. I even played around with it once or twice, releasing just an unedited video. I just took everything I shot and just kind of threw it all, mashed it all in the timeline, and just released it. And some people like that, but it didn't take off as well as I
can tell you those don't do well.
It did. Yeah,
I've done a few of those. They don't do well.
Yeah.
People don't stick around. They want
Yeah.
editing. They want the fancy shots. They want it to feel exciting, and they don't want
So right
20
now on the
minutes
discussion
of
board, they're talking a lot about internet, fiber internet, or
yeah.
cable, different things like that.
I was even gonna comment about Nikki G's banjo music. I have to say, bold choice, but
Yeah.
works for him.
It was actually funny in one of my videos. We have this trail that we call the Hills Have Eyes Trail, and it's because it looks like the movie. It has like a bunch of trailer parks, and it looks like redneck inbreeding kind of town you're going through. And I put some banjo music as we're like going by the houses and stuff, and I thought it was pretty funny. I don't think enough people kind of caught on to it, but I got a good chuckle out of it. I made myself laugh. So.
Hey man, you gotta make the.
I like what Nick G said in the comment. Good old fashioned hillbilly banjo music right there.
That's not hillbilly banjo music.
I like the. I've always wanted to put a black and white video together and have some like 1920s.
The piano.
The slapstick. Yeah. Yep.
Well, we are in
Really
the Roaring 20s.
Run around.
Yeah, right.
Wrong 20s, but yeah.
You should make a silent jeeping YouTube video, like with the old text blocks.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
That'd be
part of
great.
it also is just that's what I've struggled with is I've been trying to
let me write
find
that
my
down.
own niche and find what I want to put out there.
Well, black and white silent jeeping videos. That might be your niche.
Well, you could do like an XJ one where you walk out and there's a giant puddle underneath and it's black and white and you just.
Yeah, right.
Do like a kind of like a slapstick comedy or
Or you
something.
could walk into your right, or you could like walk into your garage and fall into a swimming pool, Kyle.
Yes. Or a skating rink, depending on the time
Skating
of year.
rink. Yeah, nice skating rink.
Luckily, not this year, right?
Yeah. Well, and I have a video
Depending
that
on
I'm
the
going to
time of year,
release. I have
exactly.
it all edited and everything. I'm probably going to release it tomorrow. I installed a threshold seal in the front of my garage.
Nice.
Because I was still getting a little bit of water because there's a low spot right in front where we park, and it just kind of was filtering in a little bit. So now that it's finally dry and stuff, I was able to put one of those down. So hopefully that completely eliminates any chance of water getting in there.
Man, I'm rooting for you, man. I want that garage to
Right.
be so you can work in there in the winter and not freeze, slip, or
Yeah,
heat's another topic. I got to get
feel
like a
for
little
you,
heater.
man. I mean, I'm like my garage is heated, which is great, but it doesn't have a high
Heat is a plus. That's
door.
why I have actually 6 projects I'm holding off on just because I don't like working out in the garage when it's cold.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to do it.
The door to my garage, my Jeep just barely fits in, which is one of the reasons I haven't made it really tall yet. If I make it any taller, it won't fit in my garage anymore.
Guess it's time to upgrade that
And
garage
Joe's
door.
gone, Jeremy's gone. Mark.
We're chalking up to a low center of gravity, Nate.
Yeah, the problem is I'd have to lift the house to make the garage any taller because it's under the house.
What's that?
Or just dig down.
Yeah, right. I could dig deeper. Right.
Yep.
The dwarves did that. It didn't end well.
Down.
Oh man.
Backfill it.
Yeah, mine's heated, and I usually have to start it about 2 hours before I get in there, but it knocks the edge off and it makes it workable.
Yeah.
And as of late, it's the background noise in a lot of my videos.
Hey world, say hello to my wife.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Steven's wife.
She can't hear us, but hi.
Oh yeah. Well, we said hi in sign language, so it's all right.
Yes, that's the way it works.
Pigpen said he's going
Right.
to do a black and white video. His next video will be black and white.
With a piano and text.
Yeah,
bars.
you got to have that piano.
I almost want to just do a screw
Yeah, I think
around
it'd be
video
pretty
and
cool
do
doing
it.
a black and
I
white
really
video
do.
just to, a little.
Like slapstick, like jump around, like pretend like you burn yourself and jump like, ah.
Yeah. Ah!
Just do it.
Well, you could also even like speed it up with like Charlie Chaplin walking.
Yeah,
around,
right.
It's a little bit more fast paced.
That's what you need to do.
Exactly,
You need to
yeah.
like record it and
think
then
that'd be
speed it
neat.
up just a bit, and so you're like zipping around like the old.
I
the
mean,
old
we
silent films.
probably have enough bloopers that we could put things together like that.
Yeah.
This is a long segment. Tony, do we need to move it on? Is that
Yeah.
what it is? Tony's like the pro here, at least a podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
we're quite ADD here, so
Tony, tell us what to
Yeah,
do.
we're bouncing all over.
No, I have to say, Tony gave me a ton of
And
advice
this
when I
is
started my own
11th
podcast,
segment.
and it paid off. So
It's all right.
he,
We're just
thank you,
talking.
Tony.
The guys BSing at the bar.
I told Tony to join. Yeah, God, if that was the case, he just came on and helped us along.
well. So whoever's still watching through that long rant segment, what's a good topic that we can start
Yeah,
talking
give us
about?
something to chat about.
Yeah, ask your questions.
I see Jeep Kitchen's talking about turkey fryers. Should we talk about cooking turkeys?
Those air fryers have been going
believe
crazy.
that.
I've seen a lot of stuff on those.
My wife
I-
just bought one, actually. She's learning how to use it now.
Is it for the Instapot? My wife wants one for the Instapot, the air fryer Instapot
Yeah,
attachment.
well, it's a combo. Yeah, you can do all sorts of crap with it. I'm like, hey, if you can put a new engine in my Jeep with it, you can buy it.
There you go.
It's an impressive attachment.
Yes, she just actually bought a Dyson hair dryer for $500 that it blow dries her hair
My gosh.
and curls at the same time.
My
That is
Dyson vacuum
insane.
cleaner didn't cost that much.
500. You know what I could
All right,
buy
Jeep
for my
Kitchen.
Jeep for that?
For $500, I'd have a winch now.
Jeep Kitchen.
Garage mod. Garage
Garage
mod.
mods. All right, actually, this is a good one.
Burn it down and start over.
Burn it down. I want to get the lights that Bearded Jeeper put in his garage. I've been trying to find those in town, but I think I'm gonna have to go online.
I'm actually about to put I'm about to put
I already got a
fluorescent
sound system and
replacements in
everything
mine.
there, but I want to get some new lighting that way I can film more in my garage.
Yeah.
I just put a bunch of new lights up, but actually because of this podcast and whatnot, I ended up putting a screen and a computer in my garage.
A computer.
I'm distracted, so now it takes twice as long for me to get a video out because I'm like, "Whoa, what's on YouTube?"
Because you go in there and it's like,
that's a
oh,
good
I'm just
thing,
gonna
though,
check
'cause you can
Facebook quick.
YouTube ways to work on your Jeep, and it's right there. You don't have to come inside and watch it. You can watch it in the garage and do it
Yeah.
right there.
I have a TV in my garage. I almost never use it. I thought it was a good idea.
Be what
but-
I told my wife.
I don't dare put any electronics in my garage.
No, I wouldn't if I were you. It'll get frozen or flooded
Oh yeah,
Or catch on
that
fire.
would
or catch on fire.
that would be bad.
Although you
Well,
have an
catching on
SJ,
fire might
so
be a
it
good
might
thing.
Wait a minute, who's the one who offered you a free 3-car? We gotta scroll back up through the chat and find out.
Oh,
who that
I think it was Midwest Jeeper was talking about it. He wants a
it's-
3-car garage.
Yeah,
I didn't see
If
him
you
say
want to
free.
go to
the garage
You
tomorrow,
just
we'll
said you
let
needed
you-
one.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I know
we're
he
gonna-
was pushing for it. That's why I made those shirts that make this garage great again. And
That was good. Those are good shirts.
I don't think I've sold a one, but
Do you? I have to ask. Do you sell any merch? Because I
haven't
sell
either,
almost
so
none.
Don't worry about it. I've sent a lot of free shirts out though.
I
said free
sold a
shirts.
few here and there. Lately, I haven't. It was kind of interesting. Teespring contacted me it was a few weeks ago, and I was able to do a contest through them. They're starting
Yeah.
to do contests now, free to the people, and they let me give away a shirt, and I didn't have to pay anything for it. So that was pretty neat,
That's
and
cool.
I hope they continue on that.
Hey, was it Rare Earth Fabrication? To answer your question, if I could add any tool in my garage tomorrow, what would it be? It would be actually a tube bender for me.
Tube bender,
That'd be mine. Yeah.
Press, portaband.
Porta
All of
band.
the
The
above.
list goes on.
I'm telling you, man, the Harbor Freight porta
I
band.
looked it up.
A whole
Look it up.
toolbox
I didn't buy
full
it.
of
It's
10
like
millimeter
120.
sockets.
I used it the other night, man.
It's a
Put a good
millimeter.
blade in it. Those things are great.
Actually, it wouldn't be I would put an oil pit in my garage.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to drive it up on jacks
No.
or anything. I just go down and work in the pit.
I want a lift, but it would require a whole new garage. So I'm gonna have to build a garage around a lift.
Yeah, my dad was talking about getting a lift in his garage because you can get them for like $2,000.
Yeah.
And he was talking about picking one up. I'm like, my Jeep would be there 24/7. You'd have to get another one.
Then he's like, nope, never mind. I'm not buying
Yeah,
a lift.
yeah, never mind.
But I mean, I'm lucky and fortunate. I can slide under mine really easily. I mean, unless I'm doing like suspension work and whatnot. But jacking it up isn't all that bad. I guess it's better.
Yeah,
than
no,
like a
it's
slate car.
there's a reason I've never invested in a lift. It's
Yeah,
because I
just-
can get by
don't know, I'm
without
just
it.
Getting to the age, and I've had too many back surgeries, and I've had 3 back surgeries, 7 knee surgeries. I don't like crawling on the ground, man.
You
if I
sound
could
like a
just stand there
Jeep.
and work on it.
Yeah, he's a Cherokee.
I've got a lot of upgrades. And a lot
Steve
of
is a
mods.
human version of a cheap Cherokee.
How's that
I've ever
unibody
heard it.
doing?
As long as you're not leaking.
His unibody's a little
You know
bent.
what? Hey, depends.
Oh, Tony's over there humble bragging about his damn Atlas again.
There he is. When I was putting the Atlas in my Jeep, it was
Oh, when I
really
was
a pain
putting
in the
an
butt to
Atlas
crawl
in
on
my
the floor.
Jeep.
I
You
had
could have
to
bought
lay
a
on the floor
lift
to
for the
put
price
my
of the Atlas, Tony.
Atlas.
Oh, Tony, I feel so bad for you. You have an
I do.
Atlas. Oh my gosh.
I bet it was
sorry.
real heavy too.
Now,
Real
one
heavy and
one thing I would
well-machined and
probably
pretty
buy,
aluminum.
If I could buy
Yeah,
anything
now
for
you
my
have
Jeep, I
to
would
use
just give it a
2
grand
sticks
right
to
now.
shift it into 4-wheel drive.
You poor soul.
Was it first world problems,
If I could
Tony?
buy
Yeah,
anything for my Jeep, it would be the hydraulic high lift.
Hydraulic high lift.
I don't know. I'm not sold on those things.
Yeah.
What
They're-
about high
It's like
lifts in
$800
general? Do you
right now.
guys what do you guys think about having a high lift? Do you carry one?
I
the
am
trails.
passionate about keeping my high lift.
I
in the
carry
Jeep.
mine on my front left, fender. I love it. I grew up on them though. My dad would go out and get us. I was gonna say get us drunk. Would go out and get us stuck, and make me use the high lift to get us out. I was very familiar with it. I've always used the high lift, and it was funny. I drive around because I live in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and a lot of people told me,
I keep
why is
meaning.
there why is there an assault rifle on the side of your Jeep? Like,
Yes.
it's not an assault rifle. That's back.
I keep meaning to. I want to get the guy who runs off road consulting. I wanted to make a video with him.
Problem
about
is, like I
safe
said, I don't
usage
think a
of
lot of people know
of
how
high
to
lift.
use a high lift safely.
High
They'll smash their hands. They'll.
high lifts are, I think, really need a really good video or training because those things can get dangerous very quick.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
God, those things are dangerous, but they're a useful tool when used correctly. You know,
And crazy
There is a
versatile.
thing out there though for high lifts now, and I can't remember. I can't remember the video. I saw it on YouTube. I remember messaging him. I'll have to go back and look, and I put it out there somewhere. But there's a you can add something on your high lift jack that prevents it from slipping or catching. It's like $40. I can't remember where I saw it, but it's something you can put on the jack itself.
It's an attachment.
Yeah. Yep. And
Is
it
it
goes
the-
over the
is it
teeth
the
of
wheel-
it, and it walks around.
The wheel into the wheels, like into the D ring, the D windows of the
No.
rim or something. No.
No, it goes over the teeth of it. And then
Interesting.
I don't know how it works, but it makes it to where there's no way it's gonna slip and drop.
That's kind of cool. I'd love to see like a link or something about
I
that.
can't remember who's had it. I'm like, oh, there was a video. I can't remember where I saw it, but it was awesome.
I was gonna say, Nate, I agree. I'll disagree with you on the outside versus inside storage of high lift. Mine's outside, although I do garage my Jeep, but mine's outside most of the time. And as long as you use like a dry lubricant, it doesn't collect like road gunk or road grime, and
Yeah.
it works pretty well.
When I first got my high lift, I had a
Or-
tire carrier with a
what was
mount
the
for it on the
question?
back of the Jeep, and it was always getting cruded up. And
I have
it was to the
I have
point
a
where
neoprene
the thing
cover
wasn't
over
safe
mine.
to
Well, it's
use
not
anymore.
neoprene, because mine was like a wetsuit, my old one, and it tore up after like one hailstorm. So my new one it's nice. I want to do a video of it. This is probably twice as much as those neoprenes, but it's held up for over a year now, and it's
Yeah,
amazing. Where my other one only lasted like 5 or 6 months.
A case to cover it would certainly solve the problem.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
Google that high lift mod.
Yeah, I actually stopped carrying a high lift jack, honestly, because I was, but with my 2-door, I just don't have a whole lot of room to carry it, and I don't like carrying it outside the Jeep, and I just never really used it. I mean,
But that's one of those things where you like crap.
Yeah,
like the one time you need it is
Yeah.
the one time you don't care.
I almost
you know?
never need mine.
I
I don't
was
carry it
actually-
daily anymore, but when I'm on the trail, it's always there.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually thinking I've seen a couple of people that just carry bottle jacks instead. And they use those because they say those will sit flat and you can get them under somewhere real easy. And
So I have the factory bottle jack that came with the TJ for changing a tire on the side of the road. That
Yep.
still works fine for the size tire that I have. But the high lift has so many other uses. You can like roll a freaking Jeep over with it if you needed to. You can use it as a come along. You can use it for moving a tree. I mean, anything, especially since I don't have a winch.
You could push parts back into place. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
something. I mean, it's
for a long time, fire companies carried them as not a replacement, but as an addition to like the Jaws of Life, because you can literally split a car door apart with the damn thing.
Yeah.
High Lift actually was featuring that I think pretty heavily now that they're starting to reissue those or kind of reuse those, because it's
like if you've got
faster, more effective than Jaws of Life.
If you've got like a rescue ATV or something that doesn't have a lot of space, where you can't have all the hydraulics required for the Jaws of Life, you can certainly carry a high lift, and it's almost as versatile. It's not as powerful, obviously, but there's lots of things you can do with it.
But just like anything too, once again, it's a tool used incorrectly can be dangerous. But that's that's a circular saw. That's an
it's
air
anything.
Civil.
It's a winch. Right. The winch itself is a ridiculously dangerous tool if used improperly. We used mine. We tore down my shed out back, and we were putting up a new shed. And underneath the shed, there were these slabs of slate, and we had to move the slabs of slate. Well, obviously, me and my dad, who's in his late 60s, couldn't move the slabs of slate. We moved it with the high lift. We just ratcheted it in there, and off it went.
Major weakness said seen a bottle jack adapter to fit under your axle. I think I've seen something similar, and I think that's why I was kind of leaning towards a bottle jack, just because it's small, easier to carry. But I definitely don't like you. Like I still agree that a high lift jack is a good piece of equipment to have, but you don't. Like I'm just not a huge fan of carrying them, because I don't really have a good way to strap it down, and it was always all rattling around in the back. So
mine, I actually made up some brackets that I welded to the roll cage all the way in the back, so that's literally right behind the tailgate, and it's nice and secure. So I feel like even if I was in an accident, it wouldn't break free, because I've heard that they're real dangerous. If you're in an accident and they break free, they could literally decapitate somebody.
Oh yeah, I could imagine that. It's just like people that put their knees on or their feet on the dashboard.
Yeah,
I just saw an X-ray picture of someone and their hip was like in their crotch, because their like upper hip bone was like in their crotch because they had their feet on the dashboard in an accident.
Not to mention the airbag, right? The airbag goes off, and all of a sudden your legs get bent behind your ears.
I actually saw a lady breastfeeding and getting a wreck, and kid got hurt.
Yeah, I bet.
Why would you breastfeed when you're driving?
People are crazy.
You shouldn't breastfeed and drive. Is that what you're saying? That's weird.
But am I the only one who drives around in the summertime? You see people with their feet out the window, feet on the dash. It's like, put your damn feet down.
Now,
man. Like,
I am guilty of sticking my foot out of the door of the Jeep when it's off. I will admit that.
I think I found the high lift mod.
Are you airing the boys out?
It's called Slee Off Road, and it bolts in on the right under the teeth to make it to where it won't fall after it's on tension. I think is what it was. So Slee Off Road, SLEE Off Road.
You should post a link in the chat there, so people can check it out.
Yeah.
I gotta find this thing. Slee Off Road. Toyota SUV Off-Road Outfitters? I can't go to this website.
That's a sin. Oh, man. Actually, hey, so I'll poke the bear a little bit, Nate. Synthetic winch line versus cable.
Yeah, I saw Tony talking about that in the chat. I actually am curious what other people think. I am firmly in the synthetic winch rope camp. Simply because steel cable can be so dangerous. I'm
kind of both sides. You know, if you're in a place with less chance of abrasion and less chance of kind of rubbing and breaking the synth line, okay. But if you're in a place with a lot of rocks, you might have to rub, in some certain places. I think cable's kind of the go-to.
That's why there's
I have cable in mind. So
I mean, there's a company now that makes a fully sheathed synthetic winch line.
I have synthetic. And the big thing with synthetic that I don't like, one, the snagging, like you said, Mark, but two, is when you live in a cold environment and there's a lot of snow, it freezes and it's
Yeah.
hard as hell to pull it out. I saw a wreck about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, where a car slid into a bus, and I had myself and 2 cops trying to pull the cord out because it was frozen, the synthetic cord, trying to get the car away. It was ridiculous. Other than that, I love synthetic just because I think it's less dangerous as cable is. I think it's a lot safer.
I think it's kind of just like anything off road, and it
talking about
kind of
Jeeps.
there's a certain need for a certain type, and there's a certain. It all depends on what you're doing.
We have a new co-host.
Nice.
Come on over here.
But I know that with my synthetic, I don't get a lot of that flex. They say that it's a bungee, and I don't see that when I pull. But it is what it is.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Who said hi?
Is that a Captain
Today
Marvel
I
shirt?
had health.
What's
In
that?
school, right? What else did you have today? Sushi, right?
Yeah.
Is that a Captain Marvel shirt?
All right, come on.
Yes. No.
So I don't know if all the people that are
Hello.
listening
All
or
right,
watching
he's
can
trying to
see
talk.
this. We have another YouTuber on, and their little girls sitting there trying to talk to us through the mic. So
Yeah, sorry about
I
that.
can't see it on my main screen, but I can see it off to the side. So I just want you guys to know why we're saying hi to people.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was my
in
daughter.
Colorado
Sorry,
on
she decided
420 time or
to
something.
get her 2 minutes
One
of
of
fame.
mine's crying right now. I can hear him.
Another thing I like about synthetic line is the fact that it's easy to repair on the trail. If you do end up splicing it or cutting it, it's really easy to weave back together. And it's harder. You can do it with the steel braided line too, but it's way easier with synthetic line to braid it back together.
Yeah, you can like crimp steel line, but you have to like basically crimp the hook back.
Well, and I like to also,
right?
I'm pretty hands-on when I'm, especially when I'm trying to get myself unstuck.
Yeah.
I always grab the cable, and I know that, when I used to have the cable, I'd get splinters and everything else, where with the synthetic, you don't have to worry about that. You just grab it, you can yank on it with your bare hands, and you're good to go.
It's like pros and cons. Like obviously synthetic, I'm not going to ever deny that synthetic is most likely safer, especially in case of high tension pulls and breakage. My thing with cable is like cable is very maintenance. I don't want to say free, but definitely a lot less maintenance, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, with synthetic cable, you're supposed to unspool it, wash it, or somehow rinse it out to keep it from drying out and or contaminants, and then like that's supposed to be done yearly. Whereas cable, it's like spool it up, as long as you don't improperly spool it, or if you do pull it out, you're supposed to spool it up again correctly, and it's good to go. There's no like yearly maintenance, there's no UV kind of burnout or anything like that. I mean, am I wrong? Or
No, you're definitely supposed to
Yeah.
like if you get any mud and dirt, like wash it out. I mean, I'm probably not as good to my winch line as I should be, but it hasn't seemed to affect it really much. But yeah, you definitely want to get all that dirt and grime out, because like you said, it can cause, like, if there's like little rocks and stuff in it, and it causes abrasions over time, and it just breaks it down quicker. As far as the UV goes, though,
They also recommend that when you're
as far as the UV goes,
go ahead, sorry, I am.
I'm not really sure. I think some are like more UV resistant than others, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
I am almost going to
The other
agree
thing
with
is
Tony.
with the
His
synthetic,
head
you
is going to
have
get
to have
bigger, but like
150 pounds of tension.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, to kind of Tony's point, I think the technology isn't caught up yet. I think it's there. Like, it's definitely a good start. Like, was it the Dima or I forgot the type of brand, but like, it's a good start. It's just not complete. It's not 100%. Like, if I could do synthetic line and not have the maintenance, absolutely. But I like the cable. You know, it's you
I'm
just got to be safe when you winch. It's
I'm
just like
a
anything else.
I'm a really big fan of when we have an
Jeep
option
Talk Show is giving us a
that
little
is
crap over
inherently
in the
safer.
comments talking about you guys need to seek a 12-step program. It's like women dating an alcoholic. You make all the excuses for your synthetic winch lines.
That's Tony for you.
I love mine.
Tony
Love it.
does not shy away
I-
from being. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the best word for it.
Intentionally
Tony likes
obtuse.
to, yeah,
That's the word for it.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna pause 1 second. I got a crying baby. I gotta take care of. I'll be right back.
All right.
Alrighty.
rock them to sleep. That's what I do.
Give him a little bit of that beer.
No, I like my synthetic. I do. I clean mine out every summer on a hot day. I unspool it, make sure it's all good to go. I have a bunch of frays in it, but it holds up. And I agree with you, Kyle, that a lot easier to repair on the trail. With cable, man, you get those splinters going, and it just seems that it runs.
So
And it's hard to fix that. You know,
I think
I remember
the fact
four wheeling, and I was trying to help a friend out with my cable, and it started fraying, and we're sitting there trying to get those frays, cleaned up on the cable and trying to tape it down just so we're making sure it was a little bit more safe so people weren't getting hurt. You also, with synthetic, you don't have to worry about draping anything over it, whereas a cable you do. You have to put they encourage you to put a tow strap or something over it. That way if it snaps, it's not gonna go through a windshield or something.
So Steve, are you able to hear me? Because it seems like I don't think he can.
Yeah, like he's had a kind of a lag. He said the whole time. So.
Oh, that explains it. So
What's that?
I don't know if you want to relay to him. He seems to be able to hear you.
So I guess you have kind of a lag, and I don't know if you can hear Nate, but it's like you guys are almost competing, talking over each other a couple times there.
Oh, I came in. I don't see Nate on my screen at all. I apologize, Nate. I have you on the side screen, but you're stationary, so I can't tell what you're doing. I apologize.
Strange. No. I was going to ask Steve a question, but obviously I can't since he can't hear me.
Steve, do you want to try exiting and coming back in? See if that fixes your audio issue.
Yeah, not a problem.
Maybe
It's not
not.
audio. I don't see him either. He's not on there. I can see him on the side.
Well, because I
But I
remember
didn't know.
that happened with Doug
Jeremy.
when he was on earlier. He had
I'll be
to
back.
go out and come back in every time.
Not a problem. I'll be right back.
All right. Then there were two.
There were two. Wait, is he back? That was quick.
There we are.
Can you see him now?
Me now?
Sorry about Adam. Yeah, there you are.
Awesome. Okay, so what I was going to ask was, you said that your synthetic line has a bunch of frays in it and whatnot. Just sort of offhand. The fact that you're willing to keep that on the Jeep and you're not afraid to use it, to me, makes the point for synthetic line. Because if that were a steel cable and it had a big kink in it or an obvious fray, I would be terrified to use it because it could break and actually hurt somebody. Whereas a synthetic line, when it breaks, it just falls to the ground. I've been within feet of a synthetic line break, and it literally just gracefully falls to the ground. I've seen people literally cut a synthetic line to prove the point, and it just falls to the ground. There's no death involved, which is what I like about
and
synthetic.
added, like you're saying, if it's frayed, like Kyle said, if it's frayed and it breaks or anything, it's so much easier to repair.
Yeah.
You can just fix it, hook it back up and pull them out. Where a cable, that's a pain in the ass. It's just that's a lot of problems.
Yeah, right. Well,
let's
cable,
start
you
the
almost
debate.
have to recrimp, right? You'd have to take the hook off the end and go back to where the fray was, cut it, recrimp it, which again is perfectly viable. But if that snaps in the middle of a pull, I mean, all kinds of chaos happens. That's what I don't like about steel line. I get that it was the old standby, and there are a lot of qualities to steel line. But to me, synthetic line, it has some drawbacks. I'm not going to argue. But it's just so much safer, and to me, that's worth it. Like
I
I
mean, the
will.
big appeal-
I will
Agreed. Wholeheartedly agreed.
You know what I mean? I will my
Yeah.
kids. I don't want them
Yep.
exposed to
I mean,
danger.
definitely.
Well, I mean, I might have bad legs and I've had 7 knee surgeries, but I want to keep them. I don't want to be working at IHOP the rest of my life.
Right.
I mean, the big appeal to me for synthetic is just the weight
Like I
saving.
said, I hate pulling it out in the winter. Like I said, we had a huge snowstorm in Wyoming a month ago, and I pulled probably 15 to 20 people out, and every time it was frozen, and every time I had to jerk on it. But
Yeah.
you know, I'd rather have that than it being unsafe. I mean, because it would have been a pain in the butt putting something over it every time and grabbing gloves, and it was just quicker.
If you keep the winch covered, would that help the problem? The frozen problem, or would moisture still get in there and still freeze?
I don't know. Well, I think the big reason that it had moisture in it also was because I keep my Jeep in the garage, so it doesn't get moisture from sitting around. It has to be from when I'm pulling people out. Like I said, I went and pulled. My son had one of his good friends was stuck, so I went to pull him out. And when I got over there was honestly 7 other vehicles stuck with him in one spot, and it took me probably 45 minutes to get all the vehicles out. But with all that snow and all that handling it, the line gets wet. And then you put it in there. You don't use it for 2 days, and it freezes up on you again.
Okay. All right. So how about this? Complete silence. Let me.
Well,
break
yeah,
up
and like
silence.
Jeep Talk Show said, catching a wire in the hand, that's not fun. I don't want any piercings on my hand. Those hurt.
Yeah, he's saying that
Still
as
wearing gloves anyway.
so I know him. He likes wires in his hand.
Yeah, he likes pain. He's into that, huh? You're into that.
Well, the guy's got more wires and more lights on that damn Jeep.
Yeah.
Oh man, golly. The only person I know whose his light bar weighs more than my front bumper. But
Right. Sorry, Tony.
Tony, that I mean nothing but love for that. By the way.
Yeah, right. No, actually, I watched it. I watched like the pictures on Facebook as he was building that light bar, and I got to give him credit for the fact that he went through and built that thing. Like that's kind of a cool DIY project. Ridiculously bright and way overkill for my needs, but I mean, if that's what you want, it's pretty cool.
It's not my thing. I don't wheel enough at night to really warrant having that many lights.
I'm not a big
so
light
it
Yeah, I'm
works.
getting rid of my light bar.
You won't be afraid of the dark, at least.
Yeah, right.
Neither will the people for the next 4 miles either.
He could probably also vaporize a vampire if one steps in front of him.
I'd like to try aluminum. I thought that was aluminum, Tony. No, I don't know.
So here, I have a
so
question for you guys. Since he brought up aluminum, I've been looking into different skid plates for my Rubicon because I want to do something different, and I've been debating whether I should go with steel or aluminum. What is your opinions?
Aluminum is absolutely the lighter solution. I mean, that's obviously the one thing it has going for it. It's a much more rigid metal, which is both good and bad. It's bad in that if it has a tendency of tearing or cracking, where steel will bend.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing. And it's for something like a skid plate, it's kind of a toss up, right? If you obviously a skid plate is going to get abused. That's what it's for.
Right.
If it's designed properly, I suppose an aluminum skid plate could certainly be just as rigid and stand up to the abuse as a steel skid plate. But if it does get damaged, it's harder to repair. It's easier to weld steel. I mean, you can weld aluminum, obviously, but it may not be the thing that's just easy to do on the trail, right?
I was looking at TNT Customs. I know that they're one of the people are part of the channel here on Facebook. They work there and they make a full belly, skid plate rather than the sections. And then someone, I don't remember who it was, someone told me that when you have a lifted Jeep and you have a full skid plate like that, it actually helps with the side wind when you're on the interstate and stuff too.
Oh, because it makes it
been looking into that a little bit.
a little more slick across the bottom. Is that it?
It'll also help.
Exactly.
The engine temps are at cruise speed, I believe.
Really?
Kyle, you look
I
tired,
think
man.
so, or something like that.
Yeah, a little bit. Been up
What's that?
since
4 a.m.
A little bit.
I get up at 2:30 every morning, so
That's
makes
gotta
for
be
a
rough.
long day.
It's gotta be
God
rough.
bless you, bro.
I had to get up at 5 yesterday.
That gotta
Not
be
2 a.m., but for me it feels like it. So Wednesday. It was Wednesday.
So, Nate, where are you from?
You said me or
Yeah, Nate,
yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are both what 9:30 almost there.
Yeah, it's 9:22.
Yep.
I was gonna say, Nate, I was gonna say you're drinking, unlike last week, because I don't think. Yeah. Cheers, bro.
I actually have something
So
to drink.
Rare Earth Fabrications says aluminum works great under theirs.
Yeah.
I know there's
Aluminum is
there's a
sticky. They
fab
say
shop
it doesn't
out.
slide over rocks as easily.
Yeah, I can see
Interesting.
that.
Yeah, I guess I can understand that. It's like a
Yeah.
There's definitely a benefit to aluminum just over weight savings. Was it? I want to say Lightbright
Never thought
has,
about it being sticky or not sticky. That's a good point.
I want to say Lightbright has I think metal. I want to say theirs was aluminum, or
I
somebody.
think we need
has
to make
aluminum
a
skid.
East Coast Trail to SEMA.
there we go. That's what we need.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so aluminum is like a I don't know how to describe it, but it doesn't like you can gouge steel more easily than you can gouge aluminum. I don't know what the right word for that is. And that's probably why it feels stickier, right? So like if you imagine a rock coming into the metal,
Right.
with steel it'll sort of part, right? And then you'll have a gouge. Where with aluminum it might kind of hang because it doesn't gouge as easily, which is good or bad, you know.
Right.
I think I'd rather steel skid plates, like Nate was saying, just for the ability to weld them off road if you have an issue. But as far as like tie rods and drag links and stuff, I kind of starting to like the idea of the aluminum ones because they bend and then they'll go right back and you don't have to worry because the steel one's just going to bend and stay there.
Well, that's the thing though. Aluminum is more resilient until it's not.
Yeah,
Right?
then it'll snap.
There's the point of
Steel-
diminishing return on aluminum.
Steel will bend more without breaking, but won't necessarily return to its original shape. Aluminum will bend more and spring back, but if you go past that point, it'll just shatter.
Right.
And then you have a destroyed tie rod instead of a bent one.
So let me pose this question to you. So you're on a trail with aluminum tie rod. You put it against a rock. You break it. You snap.
I'm just worried about the weight of
Kinda
it.
screwed.
I guess that's a big
With
thing
the
is
steel,
with the steel.
you could
Because
still
I had to put
winch it
steel
back into place and
steel
get off the
armor
trail.
on mine, and I wish I would have went with aluminum for the side armor. So I'm just worried about the weight because I'm going to do a video. I'd love to do a video soon of like a stock Rubicon, the weight of it, and the weight now of my Jeep, and compare the two.
Yeah. What's it called? Stinky Fab Racing out in Southern Cal. They do a lot of Baja stuff and everything. And they do a lot of stuff with XJs for the most part. Hey, Midwest Jeep, how you doing?
Kyle,
and-
you look like you're about to pass out, bud.
No.
Your eyes are heavy.
But they do
I'm
a
trying
lot
to
of
focus
aluminum.
too here on making sure everyone's. I got to resize everyone now.
Yeah, he's trying to add.
He's driving. Nate got the free pass this time.
Yeah.
He said he's not even coming. Then he's
Hey,
like,
Beeps, how you doing,
know
man?
what?
I assume you were
I'll just
calling
dump
me
it all
Mickey
in
Mouse.
Kyle, and then I'll ride in after the fact.
Let's see how I can arrange 5 of us here.
But when it comes to like aluminum, like I know Stinky Fab out.
I'm gonna go out and come back in.
With aluminum,
Be right back.
and they say that it has a lot of resilience. Like Nate said, you could bend it against a rock to a certain point, back off, and it will literally flex right back. It has more memory as opposed to steel. But steel, in my opinion, on the trail is more formable. Like if you bend something with steel, you get enough hammer or some winch action or whatever, you can bend it back into place and get it off. Where get the rig off the trail or out of the way. Whereas aluminum, if you go so far, you break it, you're done. It's a done deal. Steel won't shatter or break like that.
Yeah, I think there's certain applications where steel still makes sense, and things like steering linkage and whatnot. I think that it still makes sense to have that stuff made out of steel because there's so many tried and true methods to repair that stuff to get it back off the trail. You know,
Right.
you ever see the old trick of cutting off your high lift handle and sleeving your tie rod that you just bent, right, to get it straight again, that sort of thing. Which could work with aluminum. You could still sleeve it, but you couldn't weld it in place. An onboard welder is really easy when you're dealing with steel. I don't know if you can
especially
do
with
that.
a couple of batteries, you just link them together, and you got a makeshift stick welder.
Yeah. I've got a friend who's also a trail guide for the Jamboree. He's got an onboard welder, and he just like drives around the Jamboree looking for reasons to use his welder. He just loves the fact that he has it and can use it.
Yeah, the more I'm starting to weld, I'm really enjoying it. So I'm hoping to have more welding and kind of fabrication, especially with Project Zip Tie there in the garage.
Yeah,
it's addicting, Kyle. Watch out.
it is.
You're going to be doing links and suspension parts. And
That's the plan for sure.
Way back in the day when I was just getting into the sport, I think I talked about this on the last cast that we had. There was this forum, Jeepaholics, and there was a number of folks on there that could really weld. I mean, like good fabricators, and they would do like on a weekend they would fab up their own roll cages and they do their own suspensions and whatever. I'm just watching these guys, and I'm like, I need a welder. I absolutely have to have a welder. And I finally got one. And it's been like 15 years that I've been just sort of hobbyist welding with it. And it's so useful. It's just so useful to be able to just whip up whatever you need when you need it. I've got a friend who comes over and helps me work on the Jeep. And he has this joke. He's like, a project's not over until you get that welder out, is it?
Yeah, it's like I was lucky enough to have Yes Welder kind of come on as a more or less sponsor to the channel, and they sent me the welder that I use now. And my dad's truck a couple weeks ago, he had part of the steering rack or something break off, and I went over and welded it for him. And that's a powerful little welder. Even on 110, I was surprised I was still burning through some of the light steel, even on the lowest setting. So it's definitely got some kick to it.
I've got my helmets over here, the auto darkening ones.
Yeah.
Are you guys able to hear me?
Who was just talking? I heard someone.
Midwest.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, we hear you.
I'm using a different headset, so my bad.
Yeah, Kyle had to get you added into the feed, and that's what he was doing.
Yeah, it kind of takes a second. It's kind of a pain in the butt having to
Welcome,
resize
Midwest.
all the menus.
How you doing, man?
Good, and yourself?
Not bad. It's
So who's going to
Friday.
come over and help me rebuild the head gasket on my Jeep?
Forget it. I've got a valve cover gasket to do, and I've got an oil pan gasket to do, and I've got PCV valves to do, and I'm dreading it. They've been sitting in the boxes since I ordered them for about 6 months.
Yeah, I got a list of, or I should say a pile of stuff on a shelf in my garage too. So I'm still trying to get the heavy duty tailgate hinge kit on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jeep's all apart in the garage right now.
So your engine's still FUBAR, right? Or that's
Oh
not-
yeah.
Yeah. That sucks, man.
So, Mark,
Actually-
you're starting to sound like a robot again. I don't know if you want to do the mic swap. The mic
Transformers.
flip.
Yeah, everyone
I
sounds
got
like a
a-
robot to me too. So
I got a truss that I got to install on my Dana 30, even though that's like putting lipstick on a pig. It's still going to help out, and maybe I won't snap this one.
Maybe.
Any way you look at it, it'll be sexy.
lipstick
Yes.
on a pig, but does it make her look pretty?
Lipstick on a pig.
Hey man, bacon's good for you. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, you got to make the bacon look good and dress her up and take her out first.
Bacon, hey, bacon's good no matter how you look at it. So
Yep.
Whether it has lipstick or not.
As long as it's real bacon.
I don't know.
Lipstick
So-
bacon.
None of that fake crap.
Not to derail, but I think Tony's selling what bacon flavored thong. Is that what it was, or bacon perfume?
I don't
Tony, what are
want
you selling?
Bacon.
I just
Bacon
thought
thong.
about that.
Okay, I just went from wanting bacon to passing hard.
Said thong.
Come on, you know that's a mental picture you cannot wipe
No.
from your memory. Right
No,
now.
I, no,
I'm not going to
I'm
think
done
about it.
now.
Not going to.
The grease would get everywhere.
Oh God.
Not thinking about it.
I have burns
Oh,
in places I
crap.
can't describe.
Not thinking about it.
Talk about a grease fire.
Still not thinking about it.
That would be one hell of a grease fire.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Save a lot of money on a Brazilian, though.
That brings a whole new meaning to Brazilian wax.
You'd have more problems than just hair at that point.
Hey, that's how you get subscribers and views right there, though.
Bacon
Hey,
thong.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, but it's the wrong kind of subscribers and views.
Yeah.
are those the right subscribers though?
No.
Hey, if they're watching,
If they're
Maybe I should open up a Patreon account and do that.
It only takes
my
one
God.
video, one.
Check
viral.
out my new
That's all you need.
Instagram, Thong Bacon.
Show off my moose knuckles.
All right, that's a challenge to anybody. Next video, bacon of thong bacon or bacon of thong as the title of the video. Doesn't have to be relevant.
That is a challenge I don't think I'll ever accept unless I'm like super trashed.
Yeah, right.
Even then, I'd probably rethink it.
but it has to be in black and white with the piano music playing in the background.
You receive a bottle of whiskey in the mail along with the challenge.
Yes.
That's
You
the
can
next
call
challenge
out,
to go
"Here's your
out.
whiskey."
How
Get
about the
drinking.
Benny Hill theme?
Oh my
Benny
god!
Oh my God.
Nick G said this went downhill real quick.
Oh wow, we went off the rails. Big
Now I got to find the Benny Hill theme music.
I've got it, but I'm not going to play it.
Oh god. Oh man.
No, I've got my whole
We're gonna have
soundboard.
to put like
prepared.
hub
All I
after
did was
our
find it.
YouTube channel.
I'm
Yeah,
still building my sound too. My sound what's it? Soundboard. I don't have much.
YouTube's gonna flag this video now.
You think?
That's their problem.
Yep.
Until somebody gets a $10,000
Hey, the
fine. Gee,
Beeps, the Beeps just asked if they could
whose
see
channel is
Bug
this
in
on?
it in that.
What's that? I like to see Bug in that. What a bikini? A bacon thong.
In a bacon thong.
It's chewy.
It's chewy.
I wouldn't want to see
Jeez.
my own wife in a bacon thong. Sorry.
I don't know.
Once the smell starts going, bacon has
Hey,
that
baby, you
appeal.
got bacon on tonight?
Oh, it's
I
so
know what
wild.
I'm eating.
Hey, you go topless with a bacon thong on your Jeep. There we go. Now I got it back on the
Oh,
rim.
jeez.
I
Should
wouldn't
we-
want those tan lines. I'm sorry.
Should we have waited till after 10 p.m. to start this conversation?
See? Running around the Jeep in your bacon thong,
There it
taking
is.
the hard top off, putting the soft top on.
Oh, where did we go wrong?
Oh. I was only listening to so much going on because I work from home, so I had to do some stuff tonight for work. But did anybody talk about what projects they're doing this weekend?
Yes, I'm going to send Nikki a bacon G. I'm going to send Nikki G a bacon
Bacon
thong because he
G.
said he would wear it.
Bacon G.
Am I laughing at? Nikki G's going to wear a bacon thong. What do you think of that?
Corrupting minors. That's where we've gone.
We've gone downhill real quick.
Should Nikki G wear a bacon thong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Way down real quick.
Oh my gosh, that's good stuff.
Okay,
Oh, there's a little guy.
Nick, I know you're watching, but I'm going to go unsubscribe for about a month just so
All
I
right,
can.
guys. Well, I'm gonna log out. I gotta go spend some time with the family.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. I'm gonna go see if I can talk my wife into getting a bacon thong.
Look at that.
Don't let me know how that works out.
Good luck.
All right, I'm going on Amazon right now.
Oh, jeez.
If I have a video tomorrow and I have a black eye, you'll know.
I bet you can get one on Wish.com.
Oh,
Oh
God,
man,
yes.
they have everything,
Yep.
and they're happy to
Hey.
advertise it at you.
And only charge you
Hold on
30
one
cents
sec.
for it.
Yeah, but if you wait 6
Right.
weeks.
If you wait
Okay,
6
Steve,
weeks.
what's your address? I'm looking at Bacon Thong right now. Let's see if we can find one right now.
Hey, do you
Bacon
guys see
thong.
the post
Hold
on
on.
Instagram from Casey250 that Home Depot apparently now sells Jeep parts?
Really?
Yeah, he had posted it was a bumper or something. I can't remember what it was. A rear bumper with tail with a tire carrier.
I'm gonna
That's
have to go to Home Depot tomorrow and
I
see
know,
this.
right?
They're selling Jeep parts now?
I don't know if they've got like a marketplace or something.
Maybe it's a Canadian thing.
It could
Yeah.
be a.
Canadian Home Depots. Their McDonald's have pizza, and the
They sell
they
Jeep
really
parts
do?
at Home Depot.
That'd be wild.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat just to go down to your local Home Depot and pick up a bumper or something. Or
That sounds more Walmart style.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he posted in his story. It says here, Elite rear tire carrier for Jeep JL Elite.
Oh, it's Elite.
Yeah,
Then we're good. Must be great.
Oh, it's got to be.
it's got two elites, man.
Oh,
It's
that makes
double
it
elite.
everything right
Double
there.
elite.
Yeah.
Elite Squared.
You can't get any more elite than that.
Come on.
So, guys, I got some bad news. Amazon doesn't have bacon thongs, but they do have. We have bacon underwear for women.
What's the
I don't know.
difference?
It's close.
It's not.
Bacon
not
underwear.
the
All you have to
same.
do is just pull out the pin
scissors.
snips and just cut it.
Yep.
You know what? If Amazon doesn't have it, Google will. So
Here's the
let's see.
funny thing.
Oh boy.
You better be careful because
Mark,
Google will give you
Your
something
wife's
really
gonna go
fun
into
to
your
look
Yeah.
at.
not
search
Google
engine,
search
and
that,
she's
you'll
going to
see
be
it forever.
pissed off that you just searched bacon thong.
You'll have nightmares.
Oh,
That's all you're gonna see
Oh.
in your advertisements now that
Oh,
pop
your
up
Google
everywhere.
history search.
It's
I'm
like the
screwed.
other day I was talking about getting a new mattress,
Instagram,
and now
bacon
all I
thong.
see is mattress ads. Every like pre-roll on YouTube is a mattress ad for like purple mattress or
Yep.
this mattress, that mattress. So
Wish
the robots
all
are
of them
listening.
had a bacon thong.
I've been finding all those
So
green
the-
lights. Yep.
so the viewing public
So,
actually
Bugs Life
has
had
a
bacon
saving
panties.
grace. They have, we have Ragin' Bacon, but they're not real bacon. It's just bacon print, and then we have a bacon bikini with egg top, sunny side up.
Oh, that's perfect.
2 eggs,
Only
sunny side up.
eggs.
You know what? If we could pull together $60, I'll send it to Nikki G.
No, I don't want to see it. So no, absolutely not.
Nick J, you doing it?
I wish I could share my screen. I don't know about doing that, but yeah, there's sunny side top and bacon bottoms. Hey, if you can't win with the looks, I guess the bikini might work. Who knows?
Yeah, whatever
Hey,
works.
hey, that mate. If you're trying to pick up a fat guy or something, like you got food right there.
Does it come with 3X?
She'd be like, "Hey, baby, you hungry?"
How do you like your eggs? Not scrambled.
Nikki G, I'm checking
I
the
prefer them
sizes for you right now.
scrambled.
All right, pick a size.
Does it
Nikki
come with the
G.
sausage?
Now she's bringing
Pick a
the cat.
size.
He said three
Yep,
3XL.
Nikki G, guess what? They have
3XL my
3XL.
ass.
They do. On this side, they have 3XL. Although, is that 3XL women or 3XL men? And if you don't like that, I can get a Nicolas Cage bikini.
You had a bad time. They're talking about bacon.
Oh my god! What site am I on? Rajon.com.
Yeah, what website are you? That's not. Is that Amazon still, or is that
No,
Googled?
I Googled it and I got to rageon.com.
Well, I don't even want to know
you
what
know what?
website he's on now.
Rageon.com.
That sounds
Miss
terrible.
Piggy Gone
I hope you have
Wild.
an ad blocker.
Your browser history is going to be horrible.
Well, not only that, my phone just talked to me. They're like, "Where do you want to search?" I was like, "Okay, what's happening there?"
The AI is listening.
My Google Assistant is chiming in. She's like, "Oh, you want to find bacon bikini? No problem. We'll find that for you."
So,
Okay,
did any of
shut
you
up.
guys
All
get
right.
the email
Well,
from?
guys, I'm ahead and I'm going to sign out. You guys have a good night.
You did
Thank
say
you
that
very
about
much
10 minutes
for
ago.
it.
Yeah. Have a good
You
night,
just having
Steve.
too much fun.
Good night, Steve.
Yep.
Drive
Thank you,
fast,
guys.
take chances.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for
That's it.
joining.
So just to kind of heads up, we're 2 hours and 30 minutes into this thing.
Yeah, right. 2.5 hours. I tried to cut it around 2 hours last
We're
time.
almost 3 hours.
I mean, I don't care how long we keep it going. It's up to you guys. There's still people in the chat, so obviously people are. I don't know why they're watching this.
What else are they gonna do on a Friday night?
Right.
Well, watch us drink and talk about bacon thongs. So
I'm all out of drink.
Where's the email? Did you guys receive an email from Jeep today or
How many
yesterday?
people are in chat?
from Jeep itself, no.
Yeah, I got a marketing email, Jeep headquarters. They're talking about apparently introducing the Jeep Wrangler North Edition.
North.
I heard about this the other day. I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't
Well,
look
I
into
think
what
I
it
got
is.
an email on that too.
Beat the cold with the standard remote start, heated seats, mirrors, heated steering wheel, and 8.4-inch radio with nav, and then it's got a cool little North Edition badge.
Sounds like the New England edition.
I can't even. It's not. Screw it.
Yep. North Edition lineup. They've got a picture of a gladiator. Looks like it's stuck in the snow. The one I'm looking at.
So, how are you guys feeling on the Eco Diesel?
I think it sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of diesel engines anyway. They have a lot of low end torque, so it'd be neat to see how it does off road.
Yeah, I mean the reviews that I'm seeing, everyone seems to love it, including four wheeler.
I'm a little
Right.
hesitant. I mean, I think the first couple of years it's going to be kind of bumpy. After that, then we're smooth stuff out.
Well, I mean, there's generally the first year of anything you don't want to buy, and I said that to Jake when the JL came out too, right? And look at all the weird weld problems they had, and the JLs that burst into flames. You know.
Yeah, random. Hey, I'm
So
just going
this
to
is
start
my
on fire
fellow
here.
Jeeper. She's the one that goes out four-wheeling with me all the time.
Is she dragging you away because you said you were going to go? Why aren't you gone yet, man? No offense.
I'm leaving now. Good night, guys.
Night.
Bye.
man.
All right, now I'm gonna have to rearrange this whole thing again.
Kyle's got a job to do.
I wish it kind of just auto size depending
Yeah.
on how many people are in the chat.
So I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's what StreamYard does.
Yeah, so maybe we need to try that for the next
will.
stream.
We'll try it next time. That reminds me, who's going to host next time? Is it back to me, or are we going to get someone else?
Oh, is Mark gonna host?
He seems to be muted. Are you muted, Mark?
Mark, you're muted. We can't hear you.
We see you
Mark, talk louder.
talk louder through the mute.
Is that better?
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Kyle. Good mic.
Hey, it's working well for me.
I don't know. My laptop's like 9 years old, so it is what it is.
Let's do some
okay.
upgrading.
Oh, did you
I
buy a
don't-
mic based on his recommendation? It's not working out.
Yeah, it's the same exact mic I'm using, and I haven't had any issues. So could
Yeah,
be your sound card or something in your laptop.
That and it's hard to show, but I have to run was a USB port hub.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so yeah, that's probably causing. That's why you were
The-
sounding like a robot. I bet.
Probably because the USBs on my laptop are so close together that hold on.
Did it come unplugged? Is that the problem?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. So stop blaming me for the shitty mic.
else am I gonna blame? Oh God.
Blame Amazon.
Stupid Amazon.
So here's the other thing too. I got this thing in today. I got it all working prior to the podcast. I went out and bought one of these. Was it the USB sound adapter? It came with the goddamn mic. So now I got to return it.
Dun dun dun.
There could first.
Oh,
world
is
problem.
that's one of those sound card things, right?
It's a USB into. It's a headphone jack / microphone jack into a USB.
Yeah, I got it with mine. I was reading the reviews and they said not to use the one it came with, just to plug it into. That's why I got the adapter or the power supply thing, and I plugged it into that because I read that.
You have one of these?
Yeah, that's the
Hold
exact one I have. Yep.
Yep, I have one of those.
This is.
Down here on the-
Yep,
it's
these are the best.
Newer.
Yep,
Yep.
exact same one I've got. I need to hook. I used to do Twitch. I need to hook everything back up.
I have one of these.
Well, aren't you just fancy?
Look at you.
Humble
Drop some
brag.
beats.
Yeah,
Well, I
Hold
don't
on
have
a
an
second,
Atlas.
Nate.
You don't have an Atlas.
Nate, hold on. I'm gonna go to the kitchen and get you a cookie.
Okay. Thanks.
Is it what kind of cookie?
Yeah, I mean, is it like an oatmeal
Okay,
cookie?
semantics.
Because I don't want an oatmeal
Oh.
cookie. Is it like chocolate chip? Maybe a sugar cookie?
It could be.
It's gonna be a Jeep shaped cookie.
It better be
the
cheap
beer
shape.
It better be
the
Jeep
beer
shaped.
that blew up is still iced. I can't
Oh, it's
believe it.
frozen? Is that why it blew up?
It might be. Although I wonder if he pulled this from the very, very back. Who knows, my kid? Who knows?
He pulled it from the Arctic, is where he pulled it.
Yeah,
Hey,
did
ice
you put it
cold.
out in the snowbank or something?
Maybe.
Dad wants a
It's
cold
not-
beer. How do you
it's not that
freeze a
cold
beer?
here.
They have alcohol in them.
My freezer is cold.
I guess so.
That's a
It's
pretty
the-
awesome freezer.
Yeah.
It's the Vermont of freezers.
Yeah.
Vermont.
I mean, beer doesn't have enough alcohol to make it unfreezable, but it takes a little more than just water.
It also doesn't help that my son walked up two flights of stairs and probably shook the ever living crap out of it. But
Probably
Carried it
tripped
down
and
with-
fell or
Hey,
something.
Dad, I got your beer for you.
oh, he stuck it to me good. I can't wait to get him back tomorrow.
I remember that Simpsons episode where Bart shakes up the can in the paint can, and he just explodes.
Doesn't it cut to the like an outside shot of the house
like
and literally the
an
windows blow out?
Yeah, it was a mushroom cloud, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh
that
my
sounds
god. Great episode.
And we're done.
Yeah. We have completely went off the rails.
Yeah, we're not even close to Jeep related anymore.
It is what it is. I'm having fun.
Let's see. Oh, did you guys see my new JL I bought?
Oh, that's a nice one. Good
In
color. too.
yellow.
I got a green one showing up tomorrow.
Nice.
A real one?
Yeah, I wish.
I have a
Oh,
couple
that's
of Jeep models that aren't done in
Are
the
they
shelf
hot?
in the closet.
So like a real Jeep, right?
No. Well, I mean, a model of a real Jeep, yeah.
Yeah, but a real Jeep is never done either.
Oh, yes, it's just like a real Jeep in that scenario, yes.
I love reading posts where people are like, "Oh, I'm finally done with building my Jeep." It's like,
No, you're not.
Nope.
stop lying to yourself.
Nope.
Lying to us is one thing, but lying to yourself, that's totally unacceptable.
So to like perfect example, I got into wheeling like, oh, I'll throw $2, maybe $3 and I'll just wheel the crap out of it and have fun. Yeah, that was like the first month, and then like it just keeps going.
Yeah, it just snowballs.
Oh
I
yeah.
probably had 10 grand into my old YJ, and it wasn't even that crazy. Just like over the years, like, okay, I got to change this. Then, oh, that didn't work out. I'll change it to that. And then I'll change this. And then I'll, whatever.
And once you
Iteration
upgrade
after
enough,
iteration after iteration.
once you
Well,
upgrade enough and you get like you're on 35s now or something, all the other obstacles are seeming easier. So you're like, well, I'm going to challenge myself and do something harder. And
Yeah.
then you hit those obstacles and you're like, oh, I need to upgrade. I broke this. So, and it just keeps
Need a
going and going.
cage.
See, I
Yeah.
think the worst thing is when you
60.
upgrade one thing and you break something upgrading that. Like I
Or-
did that with my Jeep when I bought it 2 years ago this February. I was taking off the nasty hinges, the factory hinges, wasn't even holding the tailgate that well. So I went to take off the spare tire and busted a bolt that actually held the spare tire to the tire carrier. And I went, okay, now I get to upgrade that. And it just continues.
Yeah, and you
Yep.
kind of make a weak point sometimes if you upgrade something on, like, say, your axle, you might put it out to your ball joints might become the weak point, or your axle shafts or something like.
When it comes to drivetrain, all you're doing is moving the weak point.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, a good strategy is to move the weak point to something that's easy to replace.
Axle shafts.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I wheel with the same guy with the welder. I wheel with
Yep.
him. He calls it his fuse, are the outer shafts, the stub shafts on the outer end of his front axle, because he said he can swap them on the trail. He keeps entire spare axle shafts with him, with the hub assemblies right on them. So when he snaps
Yep.
them, he just swaps it out. He can have himself back on the trail in like half an hour.
I was gonna
I
say,
don't know
it's
about
like
his rear axle, but
three
the
bolts,
front.
right? Pretty much.
What's that? Sorry.
Right. 3 bolts, pretty much, right? I mean, at least on the Dana 30.
Well, I mean, you got to
That's
get
what
the
they do.
axle off the ground. You got to get the tire off, and then, yeah,
Yeah.
3 bolts. The whole thing pops off, and the brake hardware. You got to get that off out of the way and everything. But yeah, if you've got, so he basically carries a replacement axle shaft with the hub assembly already pressed on, or not pressed, but bolted on with that big spindle nut. Yeah, 3 bolts. Knock off the old one. Pop in the new one. 3 bolts. Back on the trail.
keep it moving.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right,
So-
so here's a good question. What color is everyone's Jeeps or vehicles? Because I want to stick it to Tony, because red is just not cool.
I mean, do I have to stick to the one I have now, or can I go back in history?
You can go back in history if you want.
So the LJ is silver. Anyone who's seen my YouTube channel knows the LJ is silver. My wife here that just walked up behind me has a copperhead JKU, which is like the most awesome color ever. And no, Tony, it's not red.
Oh, the copper
Copper's
ones?
such a
Those?
badass.
They only made so many of those.
I love that color. I love that color. When we found it used, I'm like, we have to buy this one. This is
Yeah.
the one we're buying.
It's a rare color.
Yeah, right.
It's such a great color.
It's a
It
cool
really
color.
is.
I always liked the TJ had an amber fire color. I loved that color, but I never got one in that color. And I wish my LJ was that color, but maybe someday I'll paint it. I don't know.
I was gonna say you can just paint it.
Yeah. I figure when I go crazy and get fenders and body armor, I'll paint all the fenders and body armor that color, and then I'll have to paint the rest of the Jeep that color to match.
There you go.
Force yourself into that one.
Yeah. But
I
to
mean,
be
you're
honest,
already that far. Why not?
the silver of the Jeep, the copper color would make a great accent. I think they look cool together. So
Yeah, it
I
wouldn't be
may
bad.
I may do it that way. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I like the black and copper. I think that just I love that. It just pops to me.
Black goes with just about everything. So
That's true.
Black's the new black.
there was a guy. So my YJ, the one that I had for years and years, I had 2 YJs, but the one I had for like 10 years was blue. It was like that almost teal blue color. Now we have another dog here. It's good. It was like that,
You got a zoo over there?
that metallic blue color that the YJs came in for a couple of years. And I accented it with bright orange, like blaze orange. And I thought it looked pretty cool because it was an Islander, similar to Kyle's Jeep, right? Everybody made fun of the orange. They said it looked pink on film, which was really annoying. And there was a guy on the Jeepaholics forum who had a saying, and he had an orange and black Jeep. He said, orange goes with black, black goes with everything else.
That's true.
Yeah.
Black's
Raptor
easy.
liner. That's something I want to do.
Raptor liner. Yeah, I was-
mine's
Literally just
mine's
yesterday.
Raptor lined.
Is it?
Yeah, it holds up really well.
Did you do it yourself?
No, unfortunately, I didn't. The guy who I bought the Jeep from had just Raptor lined it, got into the mechanical kind of whatever the Jeep, and was like, "Whoa, I don't want to deal with this." And I bought it off him. So it was literally the Raptor liner still smelled when I bought it, but like you
Wow.
could tell it was literally just a shot. 2-3 years later, it's still holding up great.
I had put Herculiner in the YJ, and literally for weeks afterward, I could smell Herculiner every time I drove it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do because I ripped the all the carpets out of my JK, so I want to put some Herculiner or Line X or whatever, some kind of bed liner down.
Yeah, I've had the carpet out of the LJ since like the year after I bought it. Or actually, I think it was as soon as I stopped driving it daily, I took the carpet out. and I haven't lined
Are
it
you
yet.
doing- Nate, are you doing the spray or the roll-on paint on brush-on liner?
I rolled it on
The-
when I did the Herc, and it worked out pretty well. And I'll
Yeah.
probably do that again.
Yeah,
The
I think
thing
the
that-
roll is better because you don't have to like tape off as much.
So
go
the thing
ahead.
with Herc, and I don't know if it's the same with Raptor liner or like Monster liner or whatever. Herculiner actually has little bits of rubber in it. So if you were to spray it, I think you'd lose that. The rubber would all get filtered out. It wouldn't end up in the Jeep, right? So you almost have to paint or roll that on. Some people spray it, but I never thought it was a great idea. I don't know if Raptor or any of the other more modern ones are like that, or Line-X. I know Line-X gets sprayed in.
Yeah, I think Raptor is you get the spray gun and everything in the kit when you buy it.
Yeah,
And it's tintable, so I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, that is kind of
cool. I did was it the Herculiner on my front bumper? It was roll on, brush on.
Yeah.
I've hit trees, other vehicles, and other things, and you can barely tell. I did the spray Herculiner on my rock sliders. Awful. It literally chipped 3 days after spraying it, even after prepping it correctly using self-etching primer, acetone, everything.
Yeah.
It just didn't hold up well. So, like, if I have anything to say to anybody, if you're going to use Herculiner, which is not a bad product, use the roll-on, brush-on, and the spray-on stuff is not that good.
when I did the Herc. I mean, it took me a whole day. I took all the interior of the Jeep out. I went over all of it with Scotch-Brite, the whole interior, everything that was going to get Herculiner on it. I went over the whole thing with xylene instead of acetone, which was what was recommended at the time, which will get you like flat out high. Do it outside. And then I put down the Herc, and it held up extremely well everywhere except underneath the gas pedal, right where my heel would sit.
Huh.
Like every time it just peeled off. And I could never, I even put it down. I put like 5 layers of Herc right underneath the gas pedal because that's what everybody said was going to happen. And it still happened.
Wow.
I've had good luck with the roll-on spray-on stuff. I haven't put it in a high temp situation. I mean, I've had it on my front bumper, and I think that's pretty much it for at least now. And if I ever do it anywhere else again, it's going to be the roll-on spray-on stuff. I mean, I'm sorry, the roll-on brush-on. The spray stuff I tried once. I will never use it again.
Yeah. The thing I liked about the Herculiner is the whole kit was like $100. I think it was less than $100 for a gallon of the stuff.
Yeah,
and everything to put it on.
Yeah, I think I went to AutoZone, got like a quart of it with the roller, the gloves, and the brush or something. It was like 60, maybe $60, maybe. But the bumper don't get me wrong, it faded, but like it holds. Like I said, I've rubbed this thing up on trees, rocks, and you can't even tell. It holds really well.
I had a friend who painted like most of the outside of his Jeep in Herc.
Yeah.
Like all of the front edges that get hit with bugs and rocks and whatever, like the fronts of the fenders. He had an old CJ. The front lip of the hood, it was all Herculined. Held up okay for him.
When I had my my ZJ, I actually took, I think it was Monster Liner, and I did where the plastic trim sits in the like halfway up all the way all the way around it on the doors and stuff. I took all that off and ground off the little nubs that it rests on, and I did the Monster Liner on it, and it was great. But the only problem I had with that stuff is it would get dirt built up in it, and then like even pressure washer and stuff, it wouldn't come out of the little nooks and crannies within it.
Yeah. I had a similar problem with Herculiner. Once it would get dirty, like really dirty, you really couldn't get it clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could take like a brush, like you could literally get with soap and a brush and get it clean. But who does that to the interior of their Jeep?
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
I used to go to the car wash. I would take all the crap out of the inside of the Jeep, take the top off, and I'd go to the car wash and I would pressure wash the inside of the Jeep every so often, and that was about as clean as I could get it. But yeah, if you'd scrub it with a stiff brush and soap, you could get it clean, but it still didn't look like new. It never really looked like new.
And the crowd goes silent.
Yeah, I was just looking at the chat.
I'm just looking to see how many people we had.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Kyle to just like either go forward and slam his head on his mic, or just go to the side.
No, I'm
It's-
just it's my
hey guys, you
zoned
know,
out.
It's bad because like I wake up around 5 and I'm like, Kyle's been up for a few hours. My God, that poor bastard.
Yeah.
Well,
What? Why aren't
I
you
do
drinking a
it
whole
to
bunch of Red Bull? You got
I
that-
do it to myself too, and because I wake up at 2:30 in the morning just so I can go out on a morning run before I go to work, because I
And
don't
look
have to
like
be to
Frozen
work till
Santa.
5. Yes, Frozen Santa, indeed. Yeah, when
So
it
you
was
got to run it-
Good
it was
for you, man.
-5 the other day, and I ran him like my eyelashes froze, my like whole beard was frozen, my
Man.
eyebrows,
That was
everything.
a great picture, by the way. I posted that.
I do not have that kind of willpower. I can get a 10 or 15-minute workout in daily if I am reminded to do it. Waking up at 2 a.m. to go for a run, forget it. I
Where do
used
you-
to
where
run.
do
I
you
like
run?
running, but not at
Even-
2 a.m.
Even at my prime in my running thing, I could never get up that early.
No.
Ever. I could run before work at like 6, 7 o'clock, but not at 2.
No.
You mean like when you're running late for work?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's
too.
all the running I do now.
That's when I'm at the drive-through getting my coffee. Yeah, I'm running late for work.
Drink a little bit and then splash the rest in your face.
No, I don't have a late for work problem anymore. I literally, if I didn't have to get the kids up for school, I could sleep till 8:30 and still be ready for work on time. Because all I have to do is come here and sit down and log in. It's
Yeah,
handy.
me too.
It's handy.
I work from home as well.
It's
All
a.
right,
it-
I gotta get going. I'll talk to you guys next week.
people are dropping like flies.
Yeah, we're dropping. All right, it's been great.
All right,
Alrighty.
see you, man.
And then there were 3.
Now you've got to
I'm
rearrange
not even
again.
gonna readjust the stream. Just forget it.
I was gonna say you
Yeah.
might as well just leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we probably should end it pretty soon anyway, because it's just about the 3-hour mark,
Yeah.
and I don't like, let alone the people that are still, I don't know, watching us for some reason.
He's
But
still stumbling.
I'm kind of interested to see who, like, after this just like gets published to my channel, how many people will actually watch the full 3 hours, or like skim through it, or
Yeah, I should look back at my statistics and see if anybody came back and watched from last week.
yeah. Did you
I
have
watched
any
a little
like?
bit.
Do you have any comments on it?
Let me look. I forget if there were any comments. Let me look up my YouTube
I watched
here.
a little bit of it.
Yeah, well, no one's gonna sit through 3 hours.
Yeah,
Well,
we
2 hours.
went. It was an hour and a half last time, and then we stopped the live stream and we chatted for another half hour, I think.
Let's see here. 4xTubers roundtable. So hour and 24 we went last time.
Holy mackerel!
Went longer.
Rare
Oh.
Earth Fabrication just said, "I'm just waiting for something brilliant." Well, you're not gonna get it out of here.
Good luck. Good luck. Let's see. It's had looks like 86 views, 11 hours of watch time. I've gained 1 subscriber from it.
Hey, you got one.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good reminder. I should
But I
have
mean,
done it more throughout the stream. But if anyone is still watching or made it through this whole video, well, thank you, because you're crazy. But
Yeah. Indeed.
make sure you go subscribe to all the channels that were on here tonight. We had quite a few different. I
Just
don't
gonna
even
say,
know how.
Can we summarize who was here? So obviously
Well-
you're here because you're watching the Bearded Jeepers channel. I'm SWB Crawler. You're Midwest Jeeper, correct?
Yep, Midwest Jeeper.
It's on your name badge here. Who else was here? I don't even know what channels they were.
We had Doug from D&E in the Garage.
Okay.
Who else do we have? Eight Lug.
Oh yeah, 8 Lug Pigpen was here.
Yep. My brain's kind of running on low steam. I'm trying to think.
I wasn't even here for the whole thing, so I can't even remember.
So
Well, we had FM Jeepin.
Yeah, right. FM Jeepin. He was that's Mark that was here for so long.
Yeah, we
Who
had
was-
both Mark and Steve.
Who was Steve that was here for so long? What channel is he with? I didn't notice.
Um,
You're like, I don't know.
yeah.
Is it
brain fart. I bet we can look back at like the original.
Kyle's like, take the spotlight off of me, please.
Oh wait,
I'm
I
looking
can
through.
scroll back through the
Chat.
private guest chat, and it'll tell me Jack to Jeep joined the room. 8 Lug Pigpen.
Yeah, Steve just had himself listed as Steve, though. I don't know what his channel is.
Danny in the garage. Steve, Jack to Jeep.
Oh, okay. That explains it.
Uh,
I totally remember why I don't drink. Look how red my face is.
Running Joe Off Road was on there. Did I miss anyone? I want to say that was it.
Who was
So we
I
have
didn't
10
get the
watching.
name.
Now.
The guy who was having the bandwidth problems when I joined, who we didn't really get to talk too much?
That was yeah.
Your face.
All right.
dude.
So anybody who was part of this stream, please, I don't
Just
know,
comment with your YouTube link.
That's the way
'Cause- yeah, just leave a comment with your YouTube link, and everyone go subscribe to them.
Do it now.
Do it now.
that's the way to do it. All right,
my
so FM Jeeping's going to be the next host. Is that what I heard?
I think that's what he said.
Well, even if he didn't, now he's elected. So everyone go
Dun,
subscribe to
dun,
FM
dun.
Jeeping if you want to catch this insanity next week.
Yeah, I'll honestly be glad not to host it, because like hosting is quite the
Endeavor.
it's a lot to do, like
Yeah, it is.
rearranging. Are we going to try the different hosting thing next week?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's up to him if he wants to try the new one or just go with Lightstream. Lightstream works well enough, but it's especially for him, it seems to be having that audio problem.
Yeah. Well,
So-
he found his thing was kind of unplugged, so that might have.
That'll do you real good.
Yeah, no, like I said, we were for my other podcast. One of my co-hosts has the exact same problem, and the only thing he was able to do to fix it is he switched from his normal browser, which is Firefox, over to Chrome, and the problem went away. So
It's
I
probably
don't
a plugin then.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I use Firefox today. I'm using Chrome, but normally I use Firefox.
Yeah, I
what I'm
use
using.
Chrome.
I don't have.
I'm on
Chrome.
Firefox.
I don't know.
So also, if anyone else is watching, let's leave some questions that we can answer next week, or topics to discuss.
Yeah, right.
Because talking for 3 hours, we kind of run out of topics after a while.
We make entertaining topics after that.
Yeah, then we start talking about bacon thongs.
Yeah, the bacon thong and Benny Hill.
All right, but yes. But I think we'll end the live stream here. So thanks guys for watching, and make sure you go subscribe to all the YouTube channels, and hopefully they'll comment and link their channels in the description.
Yeah,
Come on,
right.
you gotta say the key phrase, man, when you're done and you're out.
We have a key phrase. What's the key phrase?
He does.
Stay bearded, stay jeeping. I'm
See?
out.
Right.